Secret is my depression. I will never let anyone know. Oh no. But tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a heartache.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a mistake.
Oh God, tell me why.
I never won.
If you like. There it is. Roll. What happened? Oh my God, did you see that?
What do you think you're playing, The Sims?
Yes.
Little ditto here. He'll help me out. No! Object you! Is that testicles on the end of his gun? Dead ass dough? Is that an ass dough?
9 if you call now. It's unbelievable. It includes the melter, it includes the candle jars, it includes the wax. All of this for yours in $19.99.
Welcome in Phantom
right
to
now.
Jappy.
Can you make him twerk? I can try. Let's see, let me step back, make it big, and he's twerking it. Oh, he's twerking it. There you go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Oh, he just said woo. Woo, woo-key. Woo, 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 woo-key. Hey there, big guy. I'm afraid you've forgotten what's already been proven. I am highly attracted to you. What? That means I want you to remove some clothing, even if it's just something around your neck. You're hardly unrelated. Please remove your scarf. Judd would love to see your disrobe exactly. No!
Oh, I'm fucking surfing here, bro.
Daddy?
Not now, Chief. I'm in the fucking zone.
Come on, fellas. Can we work this out or something? Dude, you're stepping on my hands. The Elder's answer. Ooh. How is everybody? We can talk. We're doing. Whoop. Or you can send me out here. You know what? Fuck y'all.
Welcome in Estralatamil _ aka _ Stella.
Daddy? Mwah. You little cutie.
ほら吸い込んだまた吸い込んだ吸い込んだらカービィ強くなるそれパラソルだそれハンマーだ出てくる敵キャラやっつけろほら吸い込んだまた吸い込んだ吸い込んだらカービィ
星のカービィがファミコンソフトになったすっごくカラフル
ますますやんちゃ星のカービィ夢の泉の物語よろしく
Hello and happy Right Wednesday. Hopefully you guys are ready for some more Phoenix, right? Oh, I got Spotify. There we go. How's it going? We got Phantom Togepi, welcome in, and Stella, how are you? Happy Wednesday. You guys freaking ready? It's really getting hot and heavy in this story, so I hope you guys are ready for this tonight. This is some serious shit's gonna be going down. Things are gonna start to add up, you know what I'm saying? I've missed you. I miss you too, so I feel like I haven't been able to see or talk to you in a long time. Need to recap because life, yeah, you got it. You got it. Yeah, this one has a lot to do with the last case. Did you get to see the end of the last case, or the last episode, I should say? Because it's kind of the same case, but we're on episode 5 now. This is episode 5, part 2. Which it greatly has to do with the last case. So I can touch, I guess we'll touch on the last case, I guess, either way. Not the ending. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so just do a real broad strokes of that. So first of all, we're at a space station, right? Remember Space Center? We got these two astronauts that apparently went up in a rocket, but then there was a bomb threat, and so then they had to leave. But then when they left, one of the astronauts was stabbed to death, and the other one like passed out, and nobody can figure out who done it, right? So yeah, at first they accused the astronaut that had passed out. He was our client, but we got him off the hook. And the main piece of evidence that got him off the hook was that we found the lighter that two witnesses said they saw in the perpetrator's hands. And it's the only thing that we had that connected the perpetrator was this lighter. And so the lighter was actually found, and there was fingerprints on it. And the fingerprints weren't of our clients. They were not Starbucks. So that's how we got him not guilty. But the twist was that there were fingerprints on there, and whose are they? None other than Miss Athena Sykes. So for some reason, Athena's fingerprints are on that lighter, and that was like the craziest twist. So that then, like, even though we got not guilty for Starbuck, we now have basically guilty for Athena. So that Athena gets taken into jail, and so that's where we started episode 5 last week. So last week, you know, Phoenix is kind of turned around or whatever, but he's like, okay, well, we got to start looking at the evidence again, and I guess, and start investigating again. So let's go out there and, you know, hit the street. So we end up, let me see, I have a walkthrough pulled up here to help me keep my points straight here. So yeah, we end up going to the crime scene and we check it out. And what was the big thing that we found there? I think we talked to Starbuck there, and he tells us that they didn't find, because there was this bullet that we had, this 10 caliber bullet that we could not find the gun for, and we assumed the murderer had the gun. And in court, it was mentioned that he could have dropped the gun in a trash chute at the crime scene. But Starbuck tells us that they never found that gun, so he didn't throw it down the trash chute, must have kept it with him. So that's one big thing we learned there. And we also saw, I think it's going to come up, it's just like a detail that's weird to have if it doesn't come up somewhere, but they also saw like some dead leaves in the Launchpad 1 corridor. And I think someone else mentioned when they use a certain path, there's always leaves on them or something like that. So I think it's going to come up, but we'll see. Anyways, we talked to Yuri Cosmos, who is the director of the Space Center, and he ended up telling us some interesting stories. We had some psych locks we had to break, and basically what we got from that was that, so there was this thing called the Hat 1 miracle, and it was like they sent this probe out into space to go get some space rocks and come back, right? Well, actually, I think there's an astronaut that was there, and then the astronaut launched it or something. Anyway, so it was apparently the official story was that something bad had happened on that mission and nearly killed the astronaut, which was Starbuck. But Starbuck miraculously survived and they made it back or whatever. But there was someone who was killed at the space station or the Space Center, and that's not as much a part of the story, obviously, but this is kind of like the reality of it, is that someone was killed at the Space Center, and it was actually a bomb threat that happened, and they were actually already like pre-warned, I think, by the saboteur that it was going to happen and everything, but they still launched. So it was like actually like a horrible incident, but they ended up spinning it like the government did to try to make it sound like it was like, oh, it's actually a miracle that happened. But as for the person who died, we find out that it was this lady named Metis Sykes. So it was actually, we find out it was Athena's mom used to work at the Space Center as I guess like a psychologist or whatever. But what she did specifically was she worked with Aura Blackquill to make robots, but she would give the robots like a personality and like a psyche, basically, so you could talk to them. So the two robots that we meet at the Space Center are actually both created by Athena's mother. And she also made Widget, obviously, that Athena wears. So yeah, so Athena's mom was murdered way back when, and apparently, you know, we've seen from some of the cutscenes, like the anime, like flashbacks that we see with Athena, that she apparently witnessed something, because it's like her and she's scared, and then there's blood and stuff. So yeah, that's all adding up. Like I said, things are gonna be adding up tonight. Let's see, what's the next big thing that we learned there, though? So Sykes was there, and oh yeah, and so she was the one that died, and the person who was accused was Simon Blackquill, and that's actually why Simon is like prison now, is because he was accused of that murder of Athena's mother. But one of the big things that we learned last week too, after, well, like we talked about it later in the, it was like the end of the episode, but we talked to Athena about that, and she actually says that she tried to testify for Simon because she could tell, you know, because she has those empath abilities, that Simon was not the killer. So that's pretty interesting. She actually wants Simon to be innocent or whatever. Athena had a little accident with some ketchup. Yeah, that's all it was. You know, they're just trying to mislead us or whatever. That'd be kind of funny if that's really what it was. They just show us a little bit more context and it's just a ketchup bottle or something. She accidentally stepped on it or something. That'd be crazy. But yeah, so that's pretty interesting how Athena is kind of like attached to Simon. Let's see, but also throughout that day we wanted to look at the original scene of the crime from 7 years ago, right, where Miss Sykes died. So that is actually in the robotics lab where Aura Blackwill, Simon's sister, works, and she like hates us. But anyways, so we go there, and it turns out Apollo's actually there investigating, and so we kind of have this like back and forth where we have to kind of convince her to let us look around, and we learn a little bit about her relationship, and this is where we learn about Athena's mother and kind of like her role in the robotics system, something about Clonco and Ponco. Let's see. Is there anything else about that scene? Yeah, that's pretty much the big parts of that scene. And then we end up leaving and going back to the Anything Right Agency, and then Phoenix is, you know, thinking real hard about how, you know, life sucks and he's sad. And then he sees that there's a letter on the floor, and he's like, oh, a letter. So he reads it, and guess who it's from? It's from Maya. So Maya Fey is writing Phoenix a letter about how she's, you know, would like to see him, but she's busy training right now, so she wasn't able to do that. And so then he's like, well, how the hell did this get here? And then who else but little Pearls pops up, and she's the one that brought the letter, and Pearls was there to, I guess, help him clean his office, I think, because, you know, that they were always the ones keeping it clean or whatever. So yeah, all of a sudden Pearls pops up, and it kind of gives Phoenix that little boost about like remembering that, you know, I guess like friendship or something was in there or something, you know, classic anime bits. Let's see. So then we go to the detention center, and at this point we talk to Simon at the detention center. We're trying to talk to him about 7 years ago, but he does not want to talk about it. But I think it's here that we learned about what they had on him was there was a video of him going down a corridor that was like on its way to the crime scene, at the scene of the crime, and then they actually have a photo of him with a bloody katana, so that's not good. So and then we also learn after he leaves about how he apparently has an execution date that's coming up in like 2 days or something. He's about to be executed, so we like take that as like a huge sign, like we gotta like exonerate this guy because we don't think he's the one that did it. Because like, I guess I didn't mention, but our big theory so far, Phoenix's big theory, is that the person who did this 7 years ago is the person who did this just the other day, and it can't be Simon because Simon's in prison and this person did this again and they killed Clay. So this is going to be a wrongful death if Simon's executed, right? Yeah, we saw Pearls. You totally missed it, huh? We sure did. And there's more. There's more, so just wait. It's like all coming together here at the end. It's great. But anyway, so yeah, he has an execution date, so that was pretty big drama. Big drams. And let's see. So we then go back to the robotics lab, or we try to go back to the space center, and it turns out there's like a huge like group of people, and there's like riot police and stuff. We're like, what the hell's going on? Oh yeah, because like Trucy was supposed to at one point go and try to like watch over Apollo because she's worried about him, and so she went back to the robotics lab to see Apollo, and so then we're back here to kind of like, I think, get Trucy or something like that. And then it's like there's this huge riot there, and it turns out there are hostages that have been taken in the robotics lab by the robots, and we're like, what the hell? And Pearls is there like trying to like negotiate with the robot, which is pretty crazy. But anyway, we kind of take over that, and it turns out it's Aura Blackwell is keeping, because her brother's gonna get executed, she's keeping hostages, trying to like do whatever she can to like say like it was Athena that did it, so don't kill my brother, kill Athena, she's the one that is the perpetrator or something like that. And so we end up convincing her like, how about we retried the case from 7 years ago? And that's sort of how we end up negotiating to get her to agree to some things so that we can save the hostages. Let's see, kind of going right along. There's a lot of details in there, but just kind of skipping over some of the stuff. We end up getting it together where we're going to retry the case, and the person who Aura selects for the prosecution is none other than our boy Edgeworth. So Edgy Boy comes up, and all of a sudden he's there trying to figure out the truth with us, and that's sick as fuck. And so we have like the whole like crew back, and I mean Maya's not there, but it'd be cool if she was there. But at least she, you know, she got to say something in that letter. So now we got Phoenix and Edgy, and we're like gonna try to retry this case, so we're getting ready for that. So this is sort of the end of the episode before we get to the trial. And then one last thing we end up learning about is that apparently there's no courtroom that Fulbright can find on short notice to try the case in. And then I think it's Phoenix has like the epiphany, is like, you know what, why don't we just use the courtroom that's blown up, dude? Fuck it, we don't have to have a courtroom that's actually together. It'll be symbolic anyways if we use the courtroom that was blown up during this case or whatever. So now we're going to try this case in a blown up courtroom, and it's so dramatic and awesome that I can't even right now. Edgy Boy, yeah, exactly. I must go back to the VOD. Yeah, you missed one hell of an episode. It's definitely, it was like the penultimate climax episode, it feels like, of this whole game, but we'll see. There's still some more to come. There's DLC case too. Anyways, that brings us up to where we are. So we're about to go into day 1 of trial. Well, it's day 1, part 1, and then there's part 2, and I think that's all we got for this case. But yeah, good drama happening right now. So without further ado, let's get going. All I can say is I'm happy to be here now. Yep, happy to have you here as well. Absolutely. Go ahead and pause this. No, back. There we go. Go. We got it. Here we go. Got audio and everything. Yeah, we're good to go. December 20th, 3:11 p.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 5. Pieces of rubble precariously hanging over both the defense and the prosecution, ready to crush the losing side. Yeah, exactly. There you go. It's the drama.
I did a little research. I looked into those special cyclocks you mentioned, Mr. Nick.
You did? That's great. I really appreciate it. Oh yeah, there was... I think it's Athena had them. She had the black cyclocks. I totally forgot about that. But that was part of like the ending part. I kind of jumped into it in the middle of it, but we ended like talking to Athena before we decided the courtroom thing, and she's in the detention center, and we ended up asking her some about like 7 years ago or whatever, and cyclocks came up, but it was like black ones. So it's those ones that we've seen before, but we've never been able to break. So that's what Pearls was talking about. She looked it up. Yeah, she is. She's grown up. She's such a beautiful young lady.
A red cyclock protects a secret a person is consciously trying to hide.
Oh, so they don't even know they're trying to hide it?
If the person folds under questioning, the lock breaks and the truth comes out.
Yep, that's exactly how I got the truth out of Detective Fulbright and Director Cosmos.
But a black cyclock protects a secret from the deepest place of a person's heart. A secret that the person isn't even consciously aware of.
So that means that Gavin wasn't aware of his secret? Because Gavin was the only other person we saw have those. Interesting. So even they don't know it's there.
Athena isn't trying to keep anything from you on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself.
She needs someone to use her own, like, emotion thing on her, I think. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so all I have to do is break the cyclocks.
According to my research, a black cyclock is like a heavy chain wrapped directly around one's heart. If they are ripped off by force, it could cause permanent damage to a person's soul.
In other words, if I'm not careful, I could traumatize Athena for good. Gulp. Pearls, could you stay by Athena's side? She must be suffering under the weight of such a heavy burden.
Alright, but will you be alright by yourself, Mr. Nick?
I'm up against Edgeworth. I have to be able to give this trial all of my focus and strength.
And you can't do that if I'm there. I'll just hold you back.
No, that's not it, because you could bring Mia back. Hello? No, that's not it. I just meant I can relax and concentrate if I knew you were with Athena. You're the only one who could do it, Pearls.
Alright, I'll do it then. Good luck, Mr. Nick.
Good. Now that my mind is at ease, I better get ready. I'll just tidy up the evidence and take out what I don't need. It's time to end this nightmare that started 7 years ago. Let's do it. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. It doesn't really feel like... I mean, maybe there's some way they could make it so that that's how it works, I guess, right? You could ad hoc that or something. Yeah, I love the Mr. Nick. That's so great. That's how, like, I knew it was her, too, because I think you just see someone say something Mr. Nick and it's question marks, and it's like, oh, hell yeah, we know who that is. There's only one person who calls him that. Defense, prosecution, and judge. There are even people in the gallery. The roof has been completely blown off and the walls have collapsed. But today, this ruin is my battleground. There's a robot on the stand. Day 1. Court, or some facsimile thereof, is now in session for the trial of Athena Sykes. Oh, here we go.
Not a facsimile, old man. This is a proper official trial. Take this more seriously, or you'll start hearing the bones of the hostage snap.
Please try not to upset Miss Blackwell. I'm begging you. Trucy's over there, man. Court is now in session for the very serious and very proper trial of Athena Sykes. This is no trial. It's nothing more than a ridiculous farce.
What did you say?
Edgeworth? Did you not hear what I just said to his honor? However, this ridiculous farce has a very important meaning for our legal system. Recall the case of the UR1 incident, in which a prosecutor was found guilty of murder. That case ushered in the odious dark age of the law.
I see what you're after. If we can find the real truth behind that case today.
Precisely. The darkness will be dispelled and the glory shall be restored to the court system. Prosecutor Edgeworth, you sound as if you know something of this truth. I do indeed. A new suspect has emerged in the UR1 case. For 7 years, Simon Blackwell has refused to speak in order to cover for someone else. Inner voice. Brace yourself, Phoenix. Here it comes. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright, but the situation is what it is, and I must do what I must. The prosecution moves to indict Athena Sykes on the count of murder in the first degree. But she would have been a little girl. First degree murder in her mom? How does that make any sense? Here we go, anime time.
Regardless the circumstance, I intend to question the defendant with all I have. For that is a part of my creed.
It's one of my rules.
Then you'd better bring it. If the two of you are ready. Court is now in session for the trial of Athena Sykes.
Your Honor, the defense was born ready.
The prosecution is also ready.
The signature finger wag.
This immense tension between us. It's like we're picking up right where we left off.
It's my duty to clear Prosecutor Blackwell of false accusations and end this insanity. But I have no intention of losing Miss Sykes either. She's a very promising young lawyer.
I know without a doubt that Athena is innocent. But I don't think Prosecutor Blackwell did it either. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage?
At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, a spy.
The true culprit is a spy. It's going to be hard to convince anyone of that when I barely believe it myself. But I don't have a choice if I want to save Athena and Blackwell and expose the spy.
Now then, Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth. No need for the Chief Prosecutor bit, Your Honor. I'm here as a simple prosecutor.
Very well. Your opening statement, please, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Although I've been known of late to give an impressive opening statement myself. I mean, if you want me to, I can do it.
Yeah. In all the trials I've ever seen, only the prosecution gives an opening statement.
Of course. Yeah, you're right. I was just joking. Just having a little fun. Just a little judge joke.
So he wasn't doing them just out of fear. Interesting.
Let's start with a brief interview of the UR-1 incident. The incident occurred at the Cosmos Space Center 7 years ago, on October 7th. The victim, psychologist Meta Sykes, was killed in the robotics lab on the 4th floor.
Athena's mother.
Simon Blackwell, a young prosecutor at the time, was found guilty of the crime. There were two deciding factors that led to his guilty verdict. 1. Blackwell was the only person in the corridor to the lab at the time of the murder. And 2. This photo, which captured the moment of the crime. How was that the moment of the crime? I don't see the body there.
Very incriminating evidence indeed. It would appear that the only conclusion is that Prosecutor Blackwell did indeed...
Are you kidding me? I'm not accepting any conclusion of the kind. This opening statement is over. Now, hurry up and call the witness.
Excuse me, Miss Blackwell, but we must follow proper procedure for these things, you know.
Or perhaps we should heed her wishes, Your Honor. She is the trial sponsor, after all. Besides, the courtroom is chilly, and sitting here for too long can't be good for your back.
Oh, you are very kind to show such concern for the welfare of the elderly. Points for the prosecution.
As skilled as ever at playing the court puppeteer, I see.
The prosecution calls its first witness. A witness who decided to bring forth new testimony after 7 long years.
New testimony? And just who is this witness anyway?
Yeah, right? He was just trying to use, like, nicer words, right? Because she's right here, dude. She can hear us.
Bobby Fulbright's the name. In justice we trust.
What are you doing here?
I'm just here to speak for the hostage taker, Miss Aura Blackwell. She says she's too busy, what with confining and threatening the hostages and all.
That doesn't seem to stop her from constantly chiming in through Clonco.
I'm nothing more than the observer in this. Do your best. I'm watching you.
Believing her brother innocent, Miss Blackwell has been conducting her own investigation. And through her current actions are hardly... Wait. And though her current actions are hardly lawful, I think we can at least hear her theory. I have here Miss Blackwell's notes on the investigation she conducted. And I'll be giving testimony based on these notes. Here I go. Aura Blackwell's theory. Simon isn't the murderer. He was trying to cover for someone. Someone else was at the scene of the time they say Simon committed the murder. I mean, if he really was out to steal that moon rock, then why the rolling case? Because he was using it to hide someone inside, that's why. And the only person small enough to fit inside that case was Athena Sykes. And that's Miss Blackwell's theory. It totally goes in the face of the official ruling. Huh. About the case she mentions. There were other rolling cases like that one in the lab. But they're not for traveling. They're apparently for moving parts and equipment.
I vaguely remember seeing 3 cases, all different sizes.
At the last trial, they thought that Prosecutor Blackwell used the case to steal the rock. And they had a perfectly good reason to think that, too. You see, there's a security camera in the corridor that leads to the robotics lab. And that camera captured footage of Blackwell leaving the scene with the case.
I can see why the footage helped to bring his trial to a quick end. It's very convincing, that's for sure.
7-year-old video update in the court record. Video showing the corridor to the crime scene. Blackwell was the only one to pass through at the time of the crime. That case, by the way, was later discovered outside on the Space Center grounds. Speaking of after the incident, where was the defendant, Athena Sykes, found? She was found on the 5th floor of the Space Center, in the Sykes family residence. Prosecutor Blackwell most likely brought her there after the incident. In addition, it's unknown where Miss Sykes was at the estimated time of death. Miss Sykes was too confused by the shock of her mother's death to give proper testimony. And there was no witness or evidence to tell us where she might have been. So what you're saying is Miss Sykes didn't have an alibi. That is what the evidence is saying, yes. I understand the reasoning behind the theory, but I'm far from convinced. The victim is the accused's mother. Are you actually claiming an 11-year-old girl? Yeah, exactly. And then was like too traumatized by it, like if she did it on purpose? Like, come on, dude. Hello, Never. What's up, man? Welcome in.
Welcome and never blaming.
Of course. The girl is a very strong had a very strong motive. Dr. Sykes was a psychologist who wrote many papers about speech and emotions. You're aware of Athena Sykes' special ability, aren't you, Your Honor? Are you referring to that therapy thing? Yes, she's done it quite a few times in court. Actually kind of annoying. The ability to read emotions from speech, and the subject of her mother's research. Well, as long as it benefits society, I don't see any particular problem researching it.
I don't like where this is heading. Not one bit.
Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, she forced her daughter to undergo experiments. Well, I'm sorry to hear you feeling down, buddy. I'm doing pretty good, you know? Getting to some of the meat of this case, man. Got some drama happening up in here.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you seriously suggesting?
I've done my best to be delicate, but even you can't deny to be true, Mr. Wright. No longer able to withstand the anguish of the experiments, Miss Sykes felt her only choice was to kill her own mother. Ah! No way! That's bullshit! Ah, there you go. Still give you some hugging and loving. Oh, so we got the Hey Arnold style one. Hell yeah.
Order! Order in the court! What a tragic story. I hardly want to believe it myself. But we must proceed. Mr. Wright, if you could. Detective Fulbright, please refer to the notes.
Simon isn't the murderer. He was trying to cover for someone. Pressing that. So, Prosecutor Blackwell willingly accepted a death sentence to protect someone else. Yes, that is precisely what Miss Blackwell appears to believe. I'm just reading it off this paper. And that is what I believe as well. Prosecutor Blackwell is no murderer, Mr. Wright. But Athena Sykes certainly didn't kill anyone either, Mr. Edgeworth. So it appears neither of us can afford to go easy on the other. Fine. I expected no less.
Oh, I remember this tense atmosphere. Oh, it's so invigorating. I feel 10 years younger. I'm only reading the notes here, but yeah. I feel extra invigorated too. So let's keep going. I'm not finished yet.
Someone else was at the scene of at the time they say Simon committed the murder. But that's just speculation.
Objection!
No. Miss Blackwell has proper grounds for her claims.
Objection!
Then why didn't you say so in the first place?
Objection!
You're the one who screamed, "Hold it!" and cut me off. Fine, so maybe I jumped the gun by a teeny-weeny bit. Now I know what they mean when they say, close enough to argue. Moving on. Now that or the anti-aging cream is really working. I mean, if he really was out to steal that moon rock, then why the rolling case? Press. This rolling case, I suppose you mean the one that existed in the photo with Prosecutor Blackwell in it, but was absent when the crime scene photos were taken? Yes, that's the one, and Miss Blackwell has drawn a conclusion from these two photos.
She has? And what is that conclusion?
You're the one with her notes.
Oh, right. Of course.
Reading them now, so why the rolling case? Because he was using it to hide someone inside. That's why. And how do you propose he hid a person inside one of those cases? Have you forgotten that we saw just such a thing only the other day? At your own daughter's magic show, she fit a grown person into a small box. It was magic. Oh yeah. Way to ruin the memory of a good day. A magic show? I wish I could have thought of... wait, I wish that you would have... Oh, I wish you would have thought to invite me. Actually, I would have liked to go too. I'm sure Trucy would love you all to be there. My apologies. I'll invite you both next time. I promise. So, wait a minute. What were we talking about again? Prosecutor Blackwell was using the case to hide someone. And the only person small enough to fit inside that case was Athena Sykes. That's nothing more than conjecture, and it's hardly the only possibility. In that case, what do you think Prosecutor Blackwell had in that case? I think it was the moon rock.
Objection!
There were 3 cases at the scene, but Prosecutor Blackwell used the largest one. The moon rock was egg-shaped and only about 8 inches in diameter. It wouldn't have made any sense to use the largest case there just to move that rock.
Objection!
Be that as it may, it doesn't prove Miss Sykes was inside. Then let me ask you this. Can you come up with a better theory of what was in the case? Well, Mr. Wright, can you? Yikes, give a guy some time to think. Let's see. Should I try to bluff my way through what could have been in that case?
I mean, that's what we usually do, right? Oh, let's see. Let's do a little save action. Boop, 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 boop. Bluffing it.
I know exactly what Prosecutor Blackwell carried from the scene. I just have to find something else that was missing, right? No sweat.
Oh, I'd be very interested in hearing your theory. If it's true, that is.
This is a crime scene photo taken after the Prosecutor Blackwell left, correct? All we have to do is compare this with this photo of Prosecutor Blackwell to see what's missing. If he took something with him, then it shouldn't be the one... then it should be in one of these photos. Lady Luck, don't fail me now.
What if it was like a robot? Wouldn't that be crazy?
All right, then, Mr. Wright, let us hear your theory. What did Prosecutor Blackwell take from the scene of the murder?
I gotta point at something. Well, there's the case over here. That's not what we're saying. We're talking about. What did he take? Does it have to do with this thing on the table, maybe? I don't get to look at... Oh, I can look at the court record, I guess. Let me look at the other photo. He said we gotta compare these two photos. Oh, it was the arm, right? Because the arm is here, this robotic arm thing, or whatever this is. And then this is the table it was on, and that's the box it's missing. That's what it is for sure. There's the katana. Jack, okay. You know, I've never taken much of a time to look at these photos before. Alright, let's see. Go for the robotic arm. Oh. Please notice that there is a robotic part on the top of the cart in this photo. However, in this photo taken after the crime, the robot part is gone. In other words, this part is something that was taken from the scene of the crime.
You do appear to be right. I don't see it in the second picture. But it's just a piece of junk. How important could it be?
Is it really just an insignificant robot part? Speaking of which...
What are you looking at? I'm gonna start charging for each glance per eyeball.
Stingy. What happened to the age of free previews?
Your Honor, about this robot part. Doesn't it look like it could be an arm from that robot there?
Well, now that you mention it, it does, doesn't it? But the case is still too big to be practical for just the moon rock and a robot arm.
But was it really just the one arm that was in there? If it wasn't Athena in the case, then maybe.
I believe there was another robot at the scene that looks just like the one here. Your Honor, it is the defense's assertion that it was this other robot that was in the case.
What?
We can't be certain that part belonged to a robot. Yes, it looks like the arm of the one before us, but it could be something else entirely. Besides, it's wrapped entirely in bandaging, making it difficult to verify what it is. And also sounds kind of pointless for a robot arm. I know for a fact that it's a robot arm. I can even tell which robot it belonged to, just by looking at it. With this information, we can investigate whether it was there at the time or not.
But Mr. Wright, I thought you were more of a technologically illiterate type. When did you become such an expert? I feel
somehow abandoned. Not to worry, Your Honor. I still know next to nothing about machines. But I know this piece of evidence proves which robot the arm belonged to.
Let me take a look at it. Oh, right here. The picture, because she's got all the bandages around. Because it, oh, that's right. Now I remember why the bandages were there. It's because Athena didn't understand the difference between robots and people. And so she would bandage the robots when they got broken because she wanted to treat them like they were people because they were her friends or whatever. So, yeah, that's why the bandages are there. So here we go. We found it. Activating chance time. Engage. What do we got? What are we going with? Phantom Toe Jeppy. What we got? All right, Domm Ross time. Here we go. Get in the wig. Your reek. Behind my drum set, but I got it. We're good to go. So for some happy little accents, yeah, I hope they're happy ones, that's for sure. I'm definitely down with the happy. So yeah, the Hat One exhibit, we're gonna present that. Take that, you son of a bitch. The robot in this picture is named Ponko. But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that. Like that. She must have thought that machines heal in the same way that people do. What an adorable, naive mistake. Reminds me of my own grandchild. Ah, yes. The robot arm at the crime scene had the same bandaging wrapped around it. In other words, this robot arm could belong to none other than Ponko. Order in the court. Order, I say. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you have to say to this? I concede that the robot is about the same size as a child. But it cannot grab its knees and curl itself up into a ball. Even if it was the largest of the cases, the robot couldn't have possibly fit in there. The case does comes up to about mid-thigh on Prosecutor Blackwell. I see your point. The robot is much taller than that. They've got me there. So then, did Prosecutor Blackwell make Ponko fit in the case by dismantling her, I'm gonna guess? Not compacting her. That just sounds inhumane, bro. Let's see. Quick save Ruski though. And the audience has people sitting on pieces of rubble. Yeah, that'd be funny if it was. Someone just hanging out, kicking their feet on, sitting on a giant piece of rubble. Of course Ponko would fit. All Prosecutor Blackwell had to do was dismantle her. Once taken apart, the robot could have easily fit inside that rolling case. It appears to be... Oh, yeah, this is in the past. It appears to be a robot assembly device.
Disassemble anything in a flash. Push the dismantle button. That sounds pretty neat. Can I push it, Mr. Nick?
Sounds rather violent, but Mr. Wright does have a point there.
Objection!
Except that there was a body on the table where the robots are dismantled and assembled. There would have been no room to take the robot apart.
Objection!
But what if it wasn't done on the table? What if the katana was used instead? You mean the sword? Yes, Your Honor. Miss Blackwell, I'd like your opinion on it as a woman of science. Isn't it true that the katana could have been used to take the robot apart?
I suppose so. Their joints aren't made of a very tough material. A blade could slice through them.
Thank you for your expert opinion, Miss Blackwell. Thanks to you, we now know that the existence of the severed arm in this photo proves that Ponko was taken apart. In addition, since the rest of Ponko was not found at the scene, we can conclude that the true meaning of this photo is very different from the original interpretation. You can't mean. That's exactly what I mean. This photo does not capture the moment of the murder. It is instead a picture of the moment after the robot was sliced apart. The blood you see there, where the arm was cut off, was transferred there by the bloody katana. Most likely, the rest of Ponko is scattered around Prosecutor Blackwell's feet.
Not hearing this.
Therefore, what was transported inside that case was not the defendant, but a robot. Miss Sykes was never at the scene of the time of the murder.
My head, my body, where am I?
Order in the court.
It's true that Ponko was found in pieces after the murder. And I'll admit I repaired her myself afterwards.
There we go. Crime scene photo. Photo was taken, shows Blackwell taking the robot apart. There's a blood stain on the end of the robot's arm. Yes, I'm finally making some progress. Hopefully I've gotten at least one step closer to proving both Athena and Prosecutor Blackwell innocent.
Objection!
All the taps. Well played, Mr. Wright. You've made your point abundantly clear. I can see that it wasn't the defendant inside the rolling case, but the robot. Oh, right. What's going on here? It's never good when he plays things this straight. Does the prosecution withdraw its claim that the defendant was carried from the scene? No, Your Honor. My claim hasn't changed.
Objection!
But Ponko and Miss Sykes couldn't have both been inside that case.
Objection!
The notion that the case was used to carry Miss Sykes and Miss Blackwell's theory. I have been of a different opinion from the outset. I finally have the opportunity to voice my theory. Thanks to the defense. We played right into its hands, like always, Edgeworth. Pulling out all the hits, I see. Edgeworth, he's been one step ahead of me this whole time. In that case, how do you propose the defendant left the crime scene? Simple. The footage only shows Prosecutor Blackwell from behind. What's more, he's holding his arm in front of his body, as if it were holding something or someone. That's hardly evidence. I have proof. The surcoat Prosecutor Blackwell was wearing. The victim's blood was found on the front of it, and the stain had a highly distinctive shape. A blood stain with a distinctive shape. Please continue, Prosecutor Edgeworth. 7 years ago, the defendant was known to constantly wear a certain item, of which there was only one in the world, a special pair of headphones made just for her. Oh, this isn't passes. Junie saying this.
She always wore these big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother had made them for her as part of her research.
Analysis showed the blood stain to be in the exact same shape as these headphones. In other words, this was no mere blood spatter. The blood went from the victim's body to the headphones, and then
was imprinted into Prosecutor Blackwell's coat like a stamp. A most gruesome stamp indeed. Blackwell carried Miss Sykes, who had been hit by splatter, away from the crime scene. This proves that Athena Sykes was, without a question, present at the crime scene. And that concludes the prosecution's argument. Order. If the defendant was indeed at the scene, it deepens the suspicion against her.
Objection!
But I've also shown that the robot was there at the scene as well.
Objection!
I hope you're not making the ridiculous claim that a simple robot was the real murderer.
I don't really think that, no, but...
You can't say the possibility isn't there. Detective Fulbright, was the robot questioned at the time? No, I don't see any record of it. I believe it was considered unrelated to the case. But, as it turned out, the robot was actually integrally related. Your Honor, the defense would like to call Ponko to the stand. A robot witness? I mean, we've had parrots, but a robot? I gotta draw the line somewhere, Mr. Wright. Oh, I went away. Order in the court, Prosecutor Edgeworth. What do you think about this? Mr. Wright has called all manner of witnesses to the stand over the years. Yeah, exactly. Oh, where's the asset for that? My eyes! That's my favorite part. So why not a robot? Nothing surprises me anymore with him. Very well. I will allow the witness. Bailiff, please summon the robot named Ponko. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Oh, gotta switch to robot mode.
My name is not Witness. My name is Ponko.
Yes, I realize that. But when you are at the witness stand, you are the witness.
No, I'm not. I'm Ponko. Say it with me. Ponko.
What an utterly inflexible little robot. I mean, nobody is ever, like, doing what Edgeworth says at that moment. They never say their name and occupation or whatever.
You're the last person who should be calling anybody inflexible.
You remind me of my grandchild who just learned his own name. Oh, how precious. All right, Ponko. I'm going to ask you some questions.
Questions? You have questions? Hooray! What are your questions?
I want to know if you were there at the scene of the murder of Mita Sykes. It was 7 years ago, on the 7th of October around 2 p.m. in the robotics lab.
Certainly. Just one moment. Searching data. Search complete. Yes, I was there in the robotics lab.
Nobody thought to check the robot. It would seem this robot's testimony is necessary to the case after all. Oh.
This is great. I just knew Ponko must have seen something important.
Name, not talent, occupation, mind your beeswax. Exactly. That's every single witness to Edgeworth. A murder committed right before this poor little girl's eyes. It's inexcusable.
The judge seems ready to adopt Ponko as another grandchild.
So, little Ponko, do you think you can give us your testimony today? What I saw.
I went to the robotics lab about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. And then Mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. After I charged up, I was cleaning the room, and Mr. Simon came in. And then an error occurred. There is no data after that point.
Well, it sounds like the defendant was without question at the scene. However, it doesn't appear that the witness saw the actual moment of the murder. I disagree. This testimony shows that the defendant did indeed commit the crime. What? Because after she hugged her, she fell or whatever, right? That time we got a mommy after so many daddies. Absolutely. At the end of the day, we mustn't forget that this witness is still a machine. Being a robot, its understanding, the capacity to express itself are limited.
So what are you suggesting?
The witness's statements need to be interpreted. For example, the terms hugged and then later fell down. Adults don't usually fall down after being hugged by a child.
They don't, but sometimes I do. My grandchildren are very aggressive.
Yes, what this witness's statements are telling us is that the defendant stabbed the victim with the murder weapon during this moment. What? Before Ms. Sykes hugged Dr. Sykes, did the two of them converse?
Yes, they did. They spoke to each other very loudly, but I don't know what they said. Athena's usually so quiet, so I was surprised.
Spoke very loudly. We can interpret this to be meaning they argued.
I see. Murder after a heated argument, and then the victim fell down. I agree that it does sound like a reasonable interpretation. However, Ponko doesn't seem to remember anything that happened after that.
When I am recharging, I go into sleep mode. But I remember everything before that. I have a very good memory.
You may as well admit defeat now, Mr. Wright. A cross-examination would be useless. Don't be ridiculous. A cross-examination is never useless. Until now. Think about it. Robots don't lie. This robot is both an important witness and valuable evidence at the same time. Nevertheless, I will have my cross-examination. I see you haven't changed. You never were the one to worry about wasting time.
Very well. Even if it may be a waste of time, you may proceed, Mr. Wright.
I'll show you both just how fruitful any cross-examination can be. We're gonna press the shit out this witness, bro. They're a robot, they can take it.
I went to the robotics lab about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge.
Your regular recharge? What is that exactly?
I have to refill my battery's power or else I stop working. I go into the lab to do that.
So that recharge occurred around 2 p.m. around the time of the murder.
That's right. I go every day at 2 p.m. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mama Midas.
Hugged her, huh? Which Edgeworth took to mean stabbed her with a weapon. You said the two of them were talking before Miss Sykes hugged her mother. Is that right?
Yes, they were talking very loudly, but I couldn't tell what they were saying.
Couldn't tell? Even though they were speaking so loudly.
I'm only allowed to listen to voices that are directed at me.
If it listened to every voice, it would be a little better than a mobile. It would be little better than a mobile eavesdropper. Well, that explains why some of Ponko's testimony is so vague. It's a shame that our little friend wasn't listening in, however.
We could have learned what they were talking about just before Dr. Sykes was killed. Now then, what happened after that?
And then Mommy Mia's fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything.
I don't want to delve too deeply here, but...
Could you tell us how the victim appeared and acted at this moment?
Mommy Midas was very surprised when she was hugged. I heard her heart pound.
Her heart? Mr. Wright, have you forgotten about this document we found in the robotics lab? These robots have a heartbeat detection system.
Now that he mentions it, I do remember reading something like that there. They detect the presence of people by the sound of their heartbeats. But wait a minute. That means... Did Dr. Sykes, or if Dr. Sykes really did die at this moment...
Ponko, how was Dr. Sykes after she fell down? Could you still hear the sound of her heartbeat?
Let's see, the moment she fell, her heart was pounding. After that, I don't know. I started recharging just then.
Of all the unlucky timing, if you had heard anything after that, it could have possibly proved that the hug wasn't actually the moment of the murder.
I'm very sorry. I'm afraid I don't know. I'm very sorry.
The robot is designed to go into sleep mode automatically, so it can't be helped. But it does appear it detected an increased heart rate at the moment of the stabbing.
After Mommy Midas' heart started pounding in surprise, she fell by the window. It was the round window on the workbench side of the room.
The workbench, huh? Ponko must be talking about that table to the right of where that giant robot is now. Is there something critical in Ponko's statement just now?
I mean, I think so. Hold on. Huh, that's weird. My AC just decided not to kick off for some reason. It got really hot down here. Alright, anyways. Yeah, I'm gonna say there is something. You know what, let's save real quick. Your Honor, I believe this statement is critical. I'd like you added to her testimony. Very well. Ponko, could you please add that statement to your testimony? That's a good little girl. This judge is so silly.
Mommy Midas fell down near the round window on the workbench side of the room.
But why was she in the bed then, right? On the table? Let's see. I just want to look at what she's talking about. No problem. There's a piece of paper here. That's weird. She doesn't look like she's on the floor on the workbench part of the room, if you ask me, dude. It's found on the operating table, a katana, the victim's staff jacket. See, aren't those the circle windows? Okay. Let's see. There are 2 round windows in the robotics lab. Which one did you mean?
The one on the right, near the hanging scroll. That hanging scroll was Mommy Midas' prized possession.
Okay, in the pictures of the crime scene from 7 years ago, there is definitely a hanging scroll and a Japanese theater mask hanging on the workbench side wall. But is there some problem with this statement?
I mean, yeah, the body wasn't found there, so that's wrong.
After I charged up, I was cleaning the room, and Mr. Simon came in.
Sorry, it's inhaled some spit. Whew, that came out of nowhere. All right, Brett.
Hold it!
Prosecutor Blackwell? I wonder what he went there for.
His objective? I don't know. I don't know.
Come on, pedal.
I guess I can't very well ask Ponko to speculate.
So what happened after Prosecutor Blackwell arrived? Let me do some real quick. There we go.
And then an error occurred. There was no data after that point.
Hold it!
You don't remember what happened next?
An error? Huh. I wonder if...
All data is suddenly cut off at that point. I don't know anything after that.
The answer to that question is right here. According to the defense's theory, this photo shows when the robot was being taken apart. Exactly. We can conclude that Ponko's error was the result of her being dismantled. Indeed. The bodies of these robots are designed to be controlled remotely by a separate computer.
Yes, that's basically what Miss Blackwell explained to us too. She said their hearts and memories are stored on a separate computer.
When the witness was taken apart, she'd lost the use of her body, but not her memories. That's how she was now able to give the testimony about the events of that day. Fascinating. It's as if she can be seriously wounded, but her soul still burns. Nice one, Judge.
There are a few parts of Ponko's testimony that are hard to interpret. Edgeworth chose to interpret hugged as stabbed. I'd better try... I better try to iron out who did what, where, and to whom for myself. Hold on, Athena. I'm going to save you.
Okay, so it's the body. So I'm pretty sure it's this one that's saved. So we're gonna say the body did not fall near the window because we found her, right? Yeah.
Objection!
Ponko, your statement may have just inspired a breakthrough.
I was helpful? Hooray, I'm so happy!
Just to be sure, let's go over it again, okay? The victim fell near the window on the workbench side of the room. However, her body was discovered on the operating table. But the operating table and the workbench are two different locations. How could this be? Exactly, Your Honor. We've just learned a new crucial fact. What could explain the two very different locations of the body? I'll tell you what. The victim moved, the defendant moved the body. No, the victim moved. Because she wasn't dead. because Athena didn't do it. An 11-year-old girl couldn't have moved the heavy body of an adult. So the only explanation is that the victim walked to the operating table herself. In other words, what Ponko observed near the workbench couldn't possibly have been the moment of the murder. Whew, I am very relieved to hear that. Glad to know that the murder wasn't committed in front of a little Ponko here. Yes, as we just heard in the testimony, Miss Sykes hugged her mother, nothing more. Right. It's been 8 years, but you're still just as green as ever. Green? But I can't recall ever seeing Mr. Wright in anything but his blue suit.
Hey, blue's my favorite color. What can I say?
If the defendant couldn't move the body herself, she could have had it moved for her. But Miss Sykes and Dr. Sykes were the only ones there. I agree, since this robot is equipped with a heartbeat detection system. I would have been aware of another person's presence if someone else had been there. We can therefore conclude that the defendant and the victim were the only ones present. Then who do you suggest to move the body? Don't you know it's the nature of a robot to help people do things? Miss Panko, allow me to ask you a question. I knew that was gonna happen.
My name is Ponko. Say it with me, Ponko.
I believe you said you were cleaning after Dr. Sykes fell down. Did you happen to move something large onto the operating table?
Yes, I did. Athena asked me to.
Athena asked you to? And what did you move, little Ponko?
I don't know. Unless something has an ID tag, I can't tell what it is.
An ID tag, you say?
Yes, a tag with a barcode on it. We robots scan them to tell us what the thing is.
That paper in the lab did mention something about that. Recognizes people by scanning their spacesuit or uniform jacket ID tag, it said.
So it would appear that Miss Panko here can't identify what it moved.
My name is Ponko!
But we humans have the power to imagine what it was, do we not? We do? I have a power to imagine things. I was not aware. Well, I do, at the very least. Didn't you play either of my 2 video games? We do a lot of imagining in those. Miss Panko, on the defendant's command, moved the body onto the operating table. Gah! Ponko, did you really move Dr. Sykes' body? This is really important. Isn't there any way you could tell?
I don't know. Without an ID tag, I can't tell.
Give it up, Wright. If the victim's heart was stopped, the robot's detection system would be useless. Furthermore, Dr. Sykes usually wore her white coat while she was working. She kept the jacket with her ID tag on it, draped over a chair in the robotics lab, and only wore it for special occasions. In other words, the victim wasn't wearing her ID tag at the time. From the robot's point of view, her body was simply just another object.
Objection!
But Ponko was equipped with a facial recognition system. If she really did move the victim, she would have recognized the body as Dr. Sykes. But she didn't, so that means...
Objection!
A face can easily be covered with a piece of cloth, a mask, or anything else for that matter. With her facial features hidden, the robot wouldn't be able to tell it was Dr. Sykes. Ugh.
He's right.
To summarize, Miss Sykes stabbed her mother near the workbench. Then, using the robot, she moved the body to the table, where she removed the sword and was stained in blood. Order. But if that's the case, then I have a question. Why did the defendant move the body to the operating table in the first place? You want a reason? Very well. What? You can't possibly have an explanation. Your emotions blind you to the truth. You can learn a lot from your robot friends. Calm and rational thought will open your eyes to the truth in front of you, Mr. Wright. Now then, do you remember the operating table's one special feature? I believe I read that robots can be assembled and disassembled there, isn't that right? That's right. And to the defendant, who was just a child at the time, the table was like a magic box that could make robots appear or disappear in seconds. Maybe she would have thought that it was going to fix her mom if she put her on the table, that kind of thing. Fix the robots all the time.
But in the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in a flash. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. It looked just like magic to me, what she could do.
You can't possibly be suggesting. This young, sheltered girl had a difficult time distinguishing robots from people.
But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that. She must have thought that machines heal in the same way that people do. What an adorable, naive mistake. Reminds me of my own grandchild.
No way. I refuse to believe it. Miss Sykes made a childish, naive, and cruel mistake. She thought that if a robot could be dismantled and vanish without a trace.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you're about to claim what I think you are, I demand that you word it as delicately as you can.
With all due respect, Your Honor, all I can do is present the truth as it stands. The reason the defendant moved the victim's body to the operating table.
Hold it!
No! Don't say another word. Just stop. Was to dismantle the evidence so that she could get away with her crime. That can't be. I don't know if I can say that. That would be like, in a good way, true! It seems silly. A gasp would be better.
Order! Order in the court! Order in the court, I say!
I'm feeling we got it. We got something for this.
Order! Very rude for members. Order!
Order! There you go. See, that would have been better. Edgeworth! She was just a little kid. How can you say such a horrible thing? Horrible? Like I said, you're just as green as ever. I came here today as a prosecutor to seek only the truth. No more, no less. My theory is simply the result of a rational consideration of every possibility.
Objection!
But dismantling isn't the table's only function. It can make repairs as well. It's conceivable that Miss Sykes moved her mother to the table in order to fix her. I suppose that could be another way of interpreting it. But dismantle or repair, it doesn't matter. Either way. What do you mean? After murdering her mother, Miss Sykes may have come to her senses. Perhaps she did want to make it appear as if it had never happened. And that's why she tried to repair her mother. Yes, that's one possible explanation. But But we mustn't forget the facts of this case. The victim was observed to fall down after being hugged by the defendant, and the body was moved per the defendant's command. These two facts, facts that indicate the defense's guilt, remain unchanged. This can't be true. Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence to refute the prosecution's claim? Evidence? Right. Let's see.
I can't think of any.
I'm afraid I don't have any evidence. Since becoming chief prosecutor, I've learned that the truth isn't always pretty. Now, accept the truth, Mr. Wright. Your subordinate murdered her own mother. Your Honor, the prosecution demands a verdict. The hostages have suffered enough. What a terrible and tragic conclusion. If the defense has no counter-argument, I see no need to further prolong this trial.
Edgeworth's argument seems solid enough, but there's no way Athena could have ever done anything like that. What do I do? There has to be something. But I can't think of a single thing.
Who said it? It's Simon Blackwell! Simon's here.
But Prosecutor Blackwell?
This is quite the farce you are conducting here. I could die from laughter. Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you talking about? What I'm talking about is that your argument is based on an entirely false premise. Go on, we're listening.
Could this be the miracle I need? But what is Prosecutor Blackwell trying to pull here?
7 years. For 7 long years. This case has been on my mind. Not for an instant did I not think of it. I'm the one who killed my mentor, and don't think you can alter that fact now. Your boldness. I will take the stand, and I won't take no for an answer.
No, of course. Prosecutor Blackwell, please go ahead.
"7 years ago. What a surprise witness. I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then, I committed the act. Ah, how cathartic it was. Jeez, dude. What the fuck? But little Ponko here witnessed the victim falling. In other words.
Objection!
I don't need any of your other words, old man. I can guess what happened. Which would be... She fell means she fell. Merely that. A mother and child fooling around. Perhaps she tripped. Not that it matters. When I entered the lab, there was no trace of Dr. Sykes to be seen. There was no dead body either. Of course. Meaning she must have left the room. So the murder occurred after the time period Ponko described in her testimony. You should hardly take stock in the words of a wind-up toy.
Objection!
Then how do you explain the fact that the defendant had the robot move something? Athena was always tinkering with robots on the operating table to amuse herself. She always had Ponko move the heavy ones for her. That day was no different. Ponko moved a heavy robot for Athena.
Bum, 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 bum.
This is awful. What he's saying seems to make sense, and yet...
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, are you trying even now to turn away from the truth? Don't you realize we should bring the dark age of the law to a close today?
Objection!
You expect too much from me. I'm just a murderer, beyond redemption. Why don't you just let me go so I can settle down into hell?
Prosecutor Blackwell's execution is tomorrow. If the truth doesn't come out now, it's all over.
Are you saying that the little girl and the robot had nothing to do with the murder? That's right. So let's hear your verdict. If we don't hurry, I might miss the ferry across the Styx.
Damn, dude, he's ready to die.
Don't you dare, Judge. Don't forget I have hostages over here. And Simon, how long are you going to cover for her?
Miss Blackwell. Forgive me, Aura. I never wanted you to do anything like this for me. But you agree to this trial. If you have a counter-argument, then present your evidence. That's the rule of the courtroom. Isn't that right, Chief Prosecutor? Blackwell, you selfish... Well, I'll be frank, or to be frank, I don't like this. But it's my duty to make a decision. If no one has a counter-argument, I will announce my verdict.
Is this really happening? Is it really going to end just like it did 7 years ago?
I wanted to do it so bad. Even now, I want to fly out of here and go save him.
No, I can't tell her. How can I lie to Athena? If I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in this trial, I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. I can't let this happen. I just don't have the evidence to counter Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony.
Athena, what are you feeling okay?
I can hear it. I can hear the voice of his heart. He's hiding something.
If he really is, I could sure use Athena's help here.
Yeah, we could really use her widget. I bet it's all gonna be about widget now.
Her power might be just the thing to get us through this.
Objection!
Of course it is.
Sykes, Dono. No need for you to chime in here. Just accept that you're innocent.
Objection!
These past 7 years, they've been just as hard on me, you know.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember that horrible, horrible trial?
Back into the past. I'm gonna do this one in the past voice.
Please, you have to listen to me. He didn't kill her. His heart is screaming that he didn't kill her. Even now, every time I stand in a courtroom, it comes back to haunt me. Not being heard, no matter how hard you try. Feeling so helpless. Caught in people's stares. So scared that it feels like your chest is in a vice. I'm terrified of courtrooms. I want to run out of the door even now.
And yet you found a way to keep your fears at bay and become a lawyer.
Thanks. That's because one day, I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be.
This day has finally come. The day I've been looking forward to with all my heart. This is why I became a lawyer. This is why I studied psychology. It was all to save you from this false conviction.
But Miss Sykes, do you realize what it would mean? You are the accused, after all. If you prove Prosecutor Blackwell innocent, then...
The only thing that matters is the truth. It's my duty to find out what that truth is. Simon, please give me this chance. This chance to shake off this fear that's been with me for 7 years and to face the truth.
Athena's being so brave, confronting her past like this. This might really be the last chance to save them both.
Prosecutor Blackwell, please testify one more time about the incident 7 years ago.
Fine. But your efforts will surely be in vain. For I am not a man who can be cut down easily.
Here we go, Simon. Let me hear the voice of your heart.
Here we go. It's just like slide, little PNG slide. I went to the Cosmos Space Center. I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. He's very mad about this. But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. Yeah, let's open up his heart. Yeah, let's fucking fillet his heart. He's happy to see Athena, but he's still mad. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return happily. And then, I committed the act. Ah, how cathartic it was. Why is he so happy? He's saved. Boom. Alright, I want to investigate his happiness first, see if we got anything there. You freak! This feeling of happiness. Even though the person you were looking for wasn't there, you felt happy. Why is that? Simple. When I was looking for Athena and hadn't found her yet, I grew worried. So when I saw her in the robotics lab, I was happily relieved. Merely that. Just now, you said that you went to the Space Center to kill Dr. Sykes. But the first thing you did was look for her daughter instead. I had no intention of harming Athena, so I wanted to confirm that she was safe first. It was just a part of my plan. Nothing contradictory about that.
The second I find an inconsistency, he cuts it down.
Simon knows the principles of analytical psychology. There's less noise now, but I don't see any instabilities we can latch onto.
I was afraid of that. We'll just have to keep chipping away at them, or him then, bit by bit.
Could you update his testimony, Athena?
You got it, boss.
I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. Very mad.
Info update.
When I found Athena in the robotics lab, I was relieved. Patting her on the head. But I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. This is where I had originally pressed it, right? Oh, now he's sad. And when she did, I plunged the katana in. Okay, that's different. Not the cathartic message anymore. Pinpoint the sadness in his heart. Why are you so sad, bro? Not even you can falsify your emotions, Prosecutor Blackwell. What? When you said you killed Dr. Sykes in your testimony, you felt sadness. Why would someone who had laid in wait to kill her be sad at her death? Such an obvious attack. Yes, I felt sadness, but it wasn't for her. I felt sorrow for Athena and her circumstances.
He can't be talking about that, can he?
Now it's just a convenient subject for her research.
Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, she forced her daughter to undergo experiments.
My objective was to save Athena from an obsessive scientist who treated her own daughter like a research subject.
What?
I went to the psychology lab first. That's where I would usually find Athena playing. But that day was different. I heard someone crying in the robotics lab next door. Was Athena being subjected to yet another experiment? I thought, as I went to see. Conveniently, Athena had cried herself to sleep, so all I had to do was wait and kill.
So that's why he was relieved when he saw Athena. But is this story really true? I'm not sure how much to believe.
Mr. Wright?
How are you doing, Athena? Still hanging in there?
I'm a lot stronger than I look, boss. Now, take a look at this. The noise level actually increased.
Oh, you son of a bitch. He's fighting back. It went up?
I've never seen it do that before.
Prosecutor Blackwell isn't lying somewhere in his testimony. As a matter of fact, he's piling lie on top of lie in an attempt to make his claim sound more believable.
He's a good liar, that's what he's doing.
He's trying even harder to suppress his true feelings, and that's what's causing the noise.
How in the world should I approach this? I can either use an evidence-based approach, or I can find a contradiction. Otherwise, I should look for an inconsistency in his emotions.
There are no flaws in my testimony, and his baldness is prepared to give his verdict. Give up on this lost cause, and let the law free me from these chains today. Or already. I don't think so. Not while I'm around.
Now, contradictory testimony or inconsistent emotions. Which should I tackle first?
We'll go with this testimony first.
Okay, let's present some evidence.
Oh, my bad. We're looking at Athena, but not talking from her. Okay, let's present some evidence here.
Got it, boss. But if you want to go back to looking at inconsistent emotions, just let me know. I can easily switch back.
Okay, her crying next door. Of course, I was worried. Update. I hurried over and opened the door to the robotics lab. Before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in. Wow, it's very different now. I refused to hand Athena over, so I had no choice but to kill my mentor. I feel like we should have went with the emotion stuff still. Then. There's not a contradiction I can obviously see. I think we need to go back to the emotions. I didn't realize he was going to change his testimony so drastically. It keeps changing a lot.
Mr. Wright? If you can't find any contradictory testimony, we could try looking for inconsistent emotions. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's try his emotions. Okay, maybe we better look for inconsistent emotions now.
Coming right up.
Maybe this will help us find the contradiction in the testimony. I heard crying. He's surprised from the next door. Of course I was worried. And that kind of makes sense now. I hurried over and opened the door to the robotics lab. But before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in. His emotions are always different. I refused to hand Athena over, so I had no choice but to kill my mentor. We'll try looking at the anger here. It's new. I mean, I guess I can see why he would be angry. So it's not like it's weird, but let's just, you know, poke around a bit. You know what? Let's save really quick. I don't know if I get penalized yet. Why are you so mad, bro? Towers increasing, we need to double down the attack. Hell yeah. Makes you wonder why more witnesses don't dramatically change their testimony. Yeah, if he can. It's like he's just like a master of psychology. Maybe that's part of it, you know? So he can like somehow figure out ways to reword things somehow. I don't know. I guess like psychology thing is more like he's good at like explaining an emotion away so that he doesn't have to get denoised, if you will. When we view your emotions alongside your testimony, we find the unexpected emotion. Wait a minute, there really isn't anything strange here. See, that's what I thought. It didn't really seem strange to me either. Yeah, we made a mistake. Okay, let's go. Yeah, sure. Didn't penalize me, so we're all right. Is the sadness still weird here? Because he was sad. He was saying he's sad for Athena, right? We'll try it. You know, we might as well try it. If I don't try it, then it'll be the one that we needed to do the whole time. Nope, wrong. Okay. Cover all the bases. Mad in surprise. He's mad because he's there to kill. Surprise, he does say that curse the luck. But he was there, but he said earlier that he's waiting for her. So should I maybe pinpoint the surprise? Why are you surprised when earlier you said you're waiting for it? Okay, nope, that's not, okay, not unexpected. I wonder if it's like the lack of an emotion. Sometimes it's the lack of an emotion, right? And open the door to a box slab surprise. You're crying. Next door, of course, I was worried, huh? Sadness. Maybe it's the sadness here. I don't know, but I do need to go to the restroom. I've been holding it for a little bit. So I'm gonna do that really quick, and we'll be right back after this. I'm gonna have to ponder this. So don't go away. We're gonna figure this out right after this.
There's no escape this time. You know that. You want to know why I go after pretty little things like you? No one's gonna miss you. It's as simple as that. There's always more of you. Ladies of the night. You're all dimes a dozen. Replaceable. Forgettable. Dead.
The children are playing, crafting something in the kitchen now.
We're still playing with clay.
Yes, with clay.
Clay's such a nice guy.
Holy fucking shit.
It's alright, I'll become harder. I mean, it's alright, I'm fucking rock hard right now. I'll become stronger as we continue the game. Let's try it.
Guess who has two thumbs and remembered
Whoa.
electric bill today?
Did she not witness what just, hold on. Her husband was sitting there grunting and like nearly screaming, about to stab himself, and she's just like, huh, look at this bug. What the fuck, lady? Any beef broth is probably gross, but ugh, tasty noms. Like, you actually like that, or is that a food crime? I'm not sure how to take this. I don't want to insult you or anything, but that sounds fucking disgusting. Cut it out. What the fuck? Got a whole daycare thing? Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck, man? Well, enjoying yourself? No. No? Ain't this alive? No. Blub blub. Little old magic harp, Noah. Yep. Blub blub. Blub blub blub. No, it uses splash attack. It did nothing. But we love him for it. Go, 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 go. Keep cheering. Keep cheering. We're halfway. Keep cheering. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Come on. That doesn't look like him. We shouldn't shoot. We don't know that that's him. I thought I was right-clicking. I just killed a homeless man.
What's wrong? Snake!
Ah, damn it. Why did we get our gun out?
I knew what I was doing wasn't right, but I didn't have time to answer questions back at the station.
Oh my god.
Specials vanished every day in this city, and no one ever missed them.
I don't think that's what we were supposed to do, my dude.
He was still there. I didn't know when the trash got picked up in this neighborhood, but I hoped it was soon.
We just murdered that dude and then just hit his body. What the fuck, dude? Give me a bad boy. I need to lose some honor for that one. I deserve it. Come on, little guys. I am the captain of this ship. I am Milodane. Melt in your mouth, not in your hand, sweet chocolate, melting in my mouth, so sweet, so divine. Bassmaster. Now I just feel like the ass master right now.
Get a nice little double kayak.
Yeah, dude.
I'll paddle, you fish.
Or we get these sick ass speedboats we're in right now.
Oh, yeah. I don't think a speedboat would fit in this lake.
Not in this lake. Pumpkin seed, I think. God damn little pumpkin
Ooh.
seed. Oh no, it's a freshwater drum. 13.5 inches. Oh
damn.
My god.
That thing is 1.5 pounds. Holy hell.
See you later. Dude. All right, here we go. I might finally win around.
Oh, deeper. We're going to 98 inches.
Oh,
max.
98 inches. I don't know if she can take it.
She absolutely can.
Oh, she will.
I'm as deep as can be.
Oh no. He's balls deep. I got time for that. I gotta turn Noah into a demon before he dies. I made a promise to that man. Long ago, about 20 minutes ago. Don't worry, Kay. We'll be out of here soon.
You two grab a hold of something.
You better butter your biscuits, boys.
They should be thrown in the airlock and ejected. Remy, please, prepare for hypertravel. Calculating velocity, locating destination.
If only I could play He Was a Good Man, I would. I would play it right now. Because he was a good man, a father, a brother, neighbor, and a friend. He was a good man. Yeah, hydrate. There we go, all the mail. Mail time, mail time, mail time. Here's a mail, it never fails. It makes me wanna wag my tail. When it comes, I wanna wail. Mail.
Firing soul cannon in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, fire.
It's like total overkill. We just used a child's soul to destroy you completely. What a waste of a child's soul. Especially since Pretzel's apparently still... Oh no, he dissolved. You demon! It must have taken a lot of hard work these past 18 years to buy back the mansion. The place full of memories with Monsieur Master. It is the only place for me. Singing and dancing and all kinds of sweets. That's the kind of gallery I dreamed about. I'll do a nice little whip for you. I think not. I like that. Was that good? Was that zoomed in good enough? Oh, impossible. He has no son. What? Wow, way to take it all on her shoulders, dude. It's gonna hit me in the feels, dude. Leela, forgive me. Come on, kids. Come on, you're gonna make old Uncle Cots cry. God damn it. God damn kids.
What's for dinner tonight?
It's grass.
Yay!
Thank you, children. I appreciate you. It's always so nice when the children cheer. It's better than them laughing like they always do. The incessant laughing. First station. 7th year of the Lumen War. After all the local factions had been destroyed. United Mining on eliminating the wait.
There's a bunch of tiny me's.
Oh shit, dude. Oh, come on, man. What, you just gonna keep me knocked out the whole time, dude? Alright, there we go. At least he broke it. What was that, a fucking 2x4 or a baguette? I mean, the baguette would make sense with where we're at. What?
Genesis does.
16-bit arcade graphics.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis does.
16-bit sports action.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis
Does.
Genesis
Does.
Genesis
Does.
Genesis
Does.
Genesis does.
Get Joe Montana free, Pat Riley free, Buster Douglas free, Super Monaco GP free, or Columns free. What Nintendo? Buy a 16-bit Genesis system between now and October 31st and get an extra game.
Prepare thyself well, Dragon Warrior. Thy most challenging quest ever awaits. Go with speed, but go with patience. Seek out an arsenal, a dragon scale, a torch, and magic herbs. Use wisdom and cunning to choose thy commands, for the Dragon Lord is a fierce rival. Horrible and treacherous minions all guard the evil one's island castle. Art thou ready, young one?
Yes, King Lord.
And so begins a new epic, Dragon Warrior.
Nintendo, now you're playing with pop.
Hey, you look thirsty. Stock up on Orange Cola. 2 liters, just 89 cents. Or cool off with a refreshing Zalg, only $4.99 a month. Plus, name brand salts, only 67 cents. And save on individually wrapped wheat squares. Just $1.79 for a pack of 10. But hurry, at these prices, supplies won't last.
Mega Mart, you have no idea what's in store for you.
Are playing with power.
Punch Out by Nintendo. 11 world-class contenders. Take them down with your controller, beat them all, and you've got a shot at Tyson's title. But for that, you've got to beat Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power.
You need a Tetris shot. Tetris size, square, rectangle, trapezoid, tetrazoid.
Nintendo introduces Tetris. Put a piece here, put a piece there. Use your thumbs, use your eyes. Find yourself Tetris size. Now you're playing with power.
I'm flabbergasted.
That's what Pat Leary said when she found out how much milk is in just one slice of Kraft Singles.
Tell me when.
When?
Some imitation slices stop there, but Kraft puts 5 full ounces of milk in
Each slice? Wow.
Tell me about the taste.
It's good.
Kraft Singles. 5 ounces of milk in every delicious slice.
The bottom line is I would buy Kraft Singles.
Okay, I am back. Sorry about that little break. You know, when nature calls, nature calls. Gotta answer. So, got a refill on my lemonade. Let's do it. All right, where were we? I heard a crying from next door. Of course, I was worried. Hurried over and opened the door to the robotics lab. He was surprised. I guess he was surprised. Well, he couldn't have been surprised to find Athena, right? Because he heard the crying. So, but before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in. Didn't we already do the surprise here? Yeah, because I think I said he should have been surprised because he should have been waiting. I don't know, I'm gonna try this one. He's surprised at Athena. Find Athena there, but he heard her crying. So let's check this out. Maybe this is weird. It's also a really strong one. Oh, music stop. How odd. Why would you register surprise at opening the door to the lab? All right, fine. I'll explain if I must. What surprised me was Ponko. That toy figure attacked me. Dr. Sykes knew full well on my plan to rescue Athena. But she couldn't stand guard over her daughter 24 hours a day. So Dr. Sykes had Ponko do it. That's right. She ordered Ponko to forcibly remove me on sight. So I slashed Ponko up with a katana that was there in the lab. That rickety old puppet wasn't worthy of that fine blade.
Mr. Wright, it's happening again. There's even more noise now.
That son of a bitch! Back to 100%!
It's at 100% now. What's going on here?
Whenever we find an opening, he covers it up with lies. We'll never get rid of this noise at this rate.
It's pretty hard to keep telling coherent lies like that. His mind and will really are as sharp and strong as a katana. All right, what should I tackle first this time?
Okay, so there's a certain order to all this? Is that how this works? Is testimony then? I think there might be an inconsistency in Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony.
All right, let's give it a thorough check then.
The feeling of dread. I opened the robotics lab door. Just then, Ponko attacked me. I retaliated by cutting it into pieces. But before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in. I refused to hand Athena over, so I had no choice but to kill my mentor. Okay, I don't know if I have any contradictions here. Let me see. Refused to hand Athena over, so I had no choice but to kill. Or I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck. Sykes came in. Ponko attacked me. I retaliated by cutting into pieces. Let me look at my evidence just to be fresh on what I got so I can analyze this properly. How is the utility knife still coming to it? I guess, yeah, we're still figuring out who used that knife, I guess. Hope Castle. Video. Okay, nothing about that. The weapon used in the murder 7 years ago belonged to the victim. The victim's blood was found only on the blade. The arm is up on this cart here, so is that part of it? That's how it was found. It'd be great if Old Bag came up. I love Wendy. Wendy Old Bag. She's one of my faves. Okay, that's got nothing. Okay, there was a description though. The victim's staff jacket and the cart were found nearby. Okay. Then we got autopsy report. Let's take a look at this. Death between 1 and 3. Cause of death, instant death due to stab wounds to the heart. Okay, robots at heart explains the recognition of communication features of the Ponko series of robots. Can determine the presence of human with their heartbeat. By scanning their spacesuit or uniform training. Also recognize a person by facial features. And infer people's emotions by analyzing them and their tone of voice communication with them. No laws of robotics though. Hearing that Dr. Sykes gave to Athena, the stone was cut from a real moon rock that was being used for research. So maybe we should still be doing emotion stuff, I guess. I don't see anything that makes sense that would contradict what he's saying. Yeah, let's go back to emotions. I'm not so sure. Yeah, exactly.
Is there a contradiction in his testimony, though?
Mr. Wright? If you can't find a problem with his testimony, you could try his emotions. Let's do it.
All right, let's see what emotions he's feeling now in the new scene he's presented. He's sad here because you can hear her crying. I get it. The feeling of dread. I opened the robotics lab door. Just then, Ponko attacked me. I retaliated by cutting it into pieces, and he's mad and surprised at that, which makes sense based on what he's saying happened. But let's try pinpointing some stuff and see what happens. Mad? Yeah, okay. Oh, it's not letting me fast forward. Okay, fine. Yeah, I think maybe we did make a mistake, Athena. Okay, just leave it alone. Okay. Just press on like this. Okay, so he was mad and surprised. We could try surprise now. Let's see what else he's got going on. Before I could lead Athena out, he was mad and surprised when she came in. Refused to hand Athena over, so I had no choice but to kill my mentor. He's angry and sad. I'll try the sad one here, maybe. Nope. Okay, let's go ahead and do the surprise one here. We haven't tried that. Surprise! So he's like, got it! It's like, definitely didn't get it though. Definitely not. Okay, wasn't that one. And here he's still mad and surprised. Mad and sad. I don't know, all the emotions feel like they make sense to me, but I've never been good at this emotional thing. I'm just gonna get a little hint, you know? Why not? I'm seeing here that they have spoilers in here that there's different endings we can get, so we'll see which one we get. Let's see. Oh, no, we already did that. Already did that, right? Not quite that. Huh, this is complicated, so I'm gonna have to like kind of step through it here real quick. One sec, guys. We did that. Okay, yeah, then Ponko attacked him. Oh, this is a moment when I should be doing something with this testimony. Okay, well then what was the... Oh man, I seriously thought about this too, and I didn't... I thought like, nah, maybe, I don't know, we haven't mentioned that, so maybe not. But okay, damn, I did think about this, but oh well. Didn't get it. Doesn't count. Alright, here we go. Go back to the testimony. So it's when he says, Ponko attacked me, and I retaliated by cutting it into pieces. I looked at the evidence and everything. It's the picture with him in it. Because we can see here, I was even looking at this, there's this little red bit right here, and that's where he would have chopped the arm off. There's blood. And so that would mean that this was chopped off after this was used to stab Dr. Sykes. So it doesn't make sense that the blood would be there. I had the thought, didn't do it, but I had it. Okay.
Objection!
Compounding lies with more lies is never the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell. Take a look at this photo. That's the photo of the supposed moment of the murder, isn't it? How many more times must I see that which damned me for my sin? The ironic thing is, I think this picture is actually going to be your savior now. See the blood stain on the end of Ponko's arm, where it was severed with a katana? Hope you aren't claiming that it's the robot's blood, Mr. Wright. I don't know much about robots, but I know they don't have blood. No, most likely the blood was transferred there from the bloody katana. The katana already had blood on it, so it must have been the victim's blood. That's right. But if that's the case, we found a glaring inconsistency. Yeah. You said in your testimony that you cut up Ponko, and then you killed Dr. Sykes. But in spite of that, the victim's blood is already on Ponko's arm in this picture.
What? But that cannot be.
Exactly. In order for the blood to have transferred from the sword to Ponko's arm, the victim must have been stabbed first, before the robot was slashed. In other words, Prosecutor Blackwell, your entire testimony is nothing but one giant ball of lies. I love this song. Tell the court the truth, Prosecutor Blackwell, now! You have no idea what you're doing.
His voice. There's so much discord. I'm hearing not just one or two, but a bunch of rampaging emotions here. It's hard to describe. It's like a violent whirlpool or something.
Phoenix Wright, you will pay for this. Never have I been forced to reveal so much, but the rest I'll take to my grave.
Prosecutor Blackwell, you are on the witness stand. You are obligated to tell the truth. Isn't that the rule of the courtroom?
All of these complex emotions, they seem to be flowing from one source. I think whatever he really saw that day is what's causing these feelings.
So he didn't find Athena then, huh? He found something. He found the body or something. Oh! Following the sound of crying, I opened the lab door, and then I saw it. That terrible scene. What terrible scene? Simon, say it! But before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in. I had no choice but to kill my mentor. Why? He's just feeling everything all the time. A terrible scene. Why would you be happy about this at all? Oh, I see. I gotta do one of these things where I gotta poke something. Ponko? What was Ponko doing? Ponko's cool, right? Right? A quick saberoo. Probe it! The root cause of all these emotions is this!
I'm actually not getting any particularly big reading there, Mr. Wright.
Well, I guess that's not it then. What could have caused Blackwell to react with all these emotions all at once?
I mean, the terrible scene's gotta be something here, right? So, is it the table? I mean, maybe it's Athena. Something was happening to Athena, so let's pick on Athena. I'll try that. Is it that straightforward? Maybe. The music's gone. When you opened the door and saw Athena, you became overwhelmed by your emotions. Isn't that right, prosecutor?
Yeah. You should know better. And though it's pathetic, I admit I'm terrified to speak of it.
Prosecutor Blackwell, Miss Sykes is innocent. I will always believe that with all of my heart. Now, can't you find it within yourself to believe in me, too? Athena is innocent, huh? Can you honestly say you believe that to be true?
Right, Dono.
I give you my word. Now tell me what you really saw when you opened that door.
Curse you, Phoenix Wright.
Was it gonna be anime, dude?
It was a tragedy. One I'll never forget. When I arrived at the lab, Dr. Sykes was already dead. She was lying on the operating table, while the bloody katana lay on the floor. And standing between the two, covered in blood, was Athena. She smiled
with a far-off look in her eyes, as she sweetly said, "Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm taking her apart to fix her."
Oh, wow.
That's what I saw. And now you have it. The truth that you so desperately wanted.
So we were right that she was trying to fix her mom on it. That's interesting. But it doesn't necessarily mean that she was the one that stabbed her. What if she was trying to commit suicide? She was just trying to, you know, do the commit seppuku or whatever, you know? Shouldn't laugh about that.
No. Prosecutor Blackwell finally tells the truth. And this is what it is? It's beyond devastating.
I tried to take my mother apart. I
Should have been more like blood curdling, but you know. It's pretty devastating, dude.
So it was me. I'm the one who killed my mother.
Athena! As I said, right. The truth isn't always pretty. Murder. Disassembly on an operating table. A scientist using her daughter as a guinea pig. Sadly, it appears that my theory was correct after all. Sorry a second.
Objection!
It's true that Athena didn't like her mother's research, but you dare cast aspirations on my mentor by claiming Athena was used in such a manner. Dr. Sykes can be awkward with people, but she loved her daughter with all of her heart.
She loved me?
Your mother hated to see you suffer because you could hear the voices of people's hearts. She wanted to set you free from your pain, so she worked tirelessly on her research. Do you remember those headphones you hated so much?
Yes. My head hurt every time I wore them.
No, Athena. It's just the opposite. They emitted sound waves to nullify emotional input from the voices of people around you. Your power was much stronger then than it is now. And those headphones were what enabled you to carry on with everyday life.
No, that can't be true. Then why? Why would I have done something like that to somebody who loved me so much?
Her love for you is real. That I can guarantee. That's why I knew. Now what happened had to be some kind of mistake. I couldn't let you be punished for it.
So you took the blame yourself. You and your mentor are more alike than you know.
Ponka was a witness, so I put it in the case, held Athena close, and vacated the lab. I threw Ponko away in the boarding lounge trash chute. And I hid the case on the Space Center grounds. It would seem that we now have all of the facts of this case.
Hold it!
No, not yet! It can't end like this.
Objection!
Do not disgrace yourself, Mr. Wright. The truth has been revealed.
Or are you the type of man to turn your back to things that disagree with you? I'm not. But this... I can't give up now. I have to say something, anything. Even if it's a bluff. I've always managed to pull through that way in the past. I have to make it work. The defense is, prepared to present evidence.
Mr. Wright.
Yes, Athena?
It's okay. You can stop now. I don't want you or anyone else to suffer any longer for my sake.
Athena, what are you saying?
I killed my mother. That's the truth. It's just like Prosecutor Edgeworth said. We have to face it, no matter how much it hurts. I admit my guilt. But could I please be granted just one chance to tell everyone what I recall?
It appears Miss Sykes is much braver than you, Mr. Wright. What say you, Your Honor? In light of her courage, will the court give Miss Sykes this opportunity to confess? Very well. Then if you would please take the stand, Miss Sykes.
Thank you for letting me do this, Prosecutor Edgeworth. And thank you, Mr. Wright, and Prosecutor Blackwell, for letting the truth be known. Now we can finally move forward, and everyone's suffering can come to an end.
Athena! Prosecutor Blackwell will be cleared, and the dark age of the law can come to an end. Yes. Admit your guilt, and bring everything to its conclusion.
I killed my mother. My memory's still a little hazy, but there's no question. I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands, and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers.
Which is not where the blood was found.
Your Honor, please find me guilty.
I dare say. These are all memories that no one but the murderer would have. I see. Thank you for your confession. I believe this trial has gone on long enough. But before we conclude, does anyone have a counter-argument? We do with the katana evidence, right?
Objection!
Yeah. I do, Your Honor. Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright, why? I killed her. I remember it now. Any counter-argument now is pointless.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten one of the basic tenets of lawyering. Always believe in the client to the bitter end. Athena, you are not a murderer.
Objection!
I said that you never changed, but could you have actually regressed in these 8 years? I won't stand for your childish emotionalism getting in the way of the truth.
Emotionalism? Don't lecture me on matters of the heart, Edgeworth. Because I can see straight into a person's soul.
We can see those locks.
I did a little research. I looked into those special psych locks you mentioned, Mr. Nick. Athena isn't trying to keep anything from you on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself.
Yeah, he was a piano player. Yeah, definitely put that in quotes for sure, because it's like, hey, well, maybe a little rusty.
There's still a chance. Somewhere deep in Athena's heart, there might still be a memory that not even she knows about yet. And
It might be like looking for a grain of sand somewhere in the cosmos, but still, that memory might contain a new fact that could prove her innocence.
I hope for everyone's sake that you are not just bluffing, Mr. Wright. Now then, is there or is there not a problem with Miss Sykes' confession?
My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands, and the feeling of it stabbing deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers.
It's a fucking crazy thing to remember, dude. What the fuck?
There's definitely something wrong with her memory of the event. I can just tell.
If there is a problem with her confession, please prove it to this court now. All right, let me see really quick. It says right here, the victim's blood was found only on the blade. Isn't that the katana the defendant used to kill the victim, Mr. Wright? Indeed it is. I respectfully and vehemently disagree, Your Honor.
But I remember it. I remember holding the weapon and getting blood on my fingers.
That's exactly my point. If blood really did get onto your fingers while you were holding it, there should be blood on the handle. But please focus on the handle of this sword. There's not a trace of blood on it. And therefore, this is clearly a contradiction of the facts.
You're right.
Oh my! Oh, this certainly is a plot twist indeed. The defendant must have simply confused a portion of her memories. She mentioned it was hazy to begin with, and we can't mull over every minor detail.
Objection!
But she also said there's no question I remember it, a fact we can't ignore. In that case, why don't you explain what this contradiction with her memories means?
Gladly. Just give me a sec to think of something. I want to say that Athena didn't stab anyone. She said it herself that she remembers the feeling of committing the act. Think, Phoenix, think! What could the contradiction with Athena's memories mean?
The blood was wiped off the weapon. The defendant used a different weapon. I feel like it would be a different weapon. I don't think it was wiped off. That doesn't sound right to me. So I'm gonna try the different weapon thing. But of course we're gonna scum save it. A little gum shave. Oh. There we go. Different weapon. Try that. Miss Sykes said blood flowed down the handle and the katana's handle is spotless. So doesn't it follow that the defendant must have used a weapon other than the katana? What are you up to this time?
This is it. This time, I found just the thing to end Athena's nightmare for good. The weapon that took Dr. Sykes' life was the katana. That much is for sure. So if I can show a possibility that Athena didn't use the katana, it could help me prove her innocent.
A different weapon, you say? What weapon would that be exactly?
Right, of course he would ask that.
I can see you're floundering, Mr. Wright. Did you speak without thinking again, as always?
How does he do that? But I can't back down. Not here. Not now.
That's right. I did, because it's so obvious it doesn't require any thought. What did you say? Are you trying to call me an idiot, Mr. Wright?
Okay, so maybe that was an exaggeration. There has to be something. Was there some other bladed weapon in the robotics lab that day? Maybe there's something in one of the other crime scene photos.
Yeah, there's this kit that has the blade in it, right? They all have that utility blade.
Wait a minute, there is something. There's a high probability that that was in the lab. I don't have that particular weapon here in the evidence right now, but I do have a piece of evidence just like it.
Other than the katana, this is there's another blade that could have been used at the crime scene. It's the utility knife. It has the victim's blood on it from a set of utility tools used by the Space Center's techs. So I think that's what he's talking about. But that's the murder weapon in the Clay Terran case. Yes, this is the knife that took Mr. Terran's life. But there must have been a knife just like this at the scene 7 years ago as well. Toolkits containing utility knives like this one are issued to Space Center employees. And a robotics lab, especially, would naturally have one of these around.
Objection!
But besides the katana, no other bladed weapon was found at the site. It was in the investigation report, if you didn't know. Of course I knew that.
Once you told me just now.
Then here's something else you already knew. There was a toolkit at the scene, but it didn't contain any blades. Here is a photo of the contents. Looks like the blade is missing, doesn't it? Looks like they would have been in a different set, or a different, like, order. It should say Galaxy, or something. You're right, I don't see any kind of bladed tool.
Fine, but isn't there something odd about the design of these handles?
Therefore, there was no other bladed weapon in the room.
Objection!
I disagree. This toolkit contained a knife. And what proof do you have of that? Don't tell me your eye for art is failing you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You are the last person in the world who should be criticizing my aesthetic sense. This is a jab at, and I love it. Now, he is simply watching out for your ocular health. Please proceed, Mr. Wright. Notice that the handles of each of these tools has a different design on them. Ah, I see that they do. But what significance does that have? It's clear that one of these tools is missing from this kit. If you rearrange the tools into a specific pattern, we might be able to tell which part of the overall design is missing. Is that the theory your pitiful sense of aesthetics helped you come up with?
Edgeworth, just let it go, man.
Show the court then, if you would. What pattern or design would you see if we were to rearrange the tools? I think it would be on the front of this book. Yeah. GYXA, probably this. I'm assuming this is how we show that. Let me save. And what design is this supposed to represent? The GYAXA logo, Your Honor. It's on all of the Space Center's documents and pamphlets. As you're aware, GYAXA is the program that operates the Cosmos Space Center.
Look at how brightly the GYAXA logo shines in the sunlight above the entranceway. I really dig the stars and the rocket motif it's got going.
GYAXA, huh? Isn't that the new name of the Federal Space R&D program?
Ah, I think I see it now. But yes, with just the tools shown in this photo, the red A part of the logo is missing. And this is where the murder weapon from the Terran case comes into play. If we were to place the utility knife in the open slot, boom! How you like that, edgy boy? It would complete the GYAXA logo. So it would. Then that means... Admit it, Mr. Edgeworth. My aesthetic sense is keener than yours. And while you're at it, admit that your weapon Miss Sykes used could have been this one. No. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're still saying she used a weapon, so I mean, that's not great. Order in the court. Miss Sykes confessed to having a memory of stabbing the victim. Admittedly, Miss Sykes most likely did stab someone using the utility knife. However, the weapon used to kill Dr. Sykes was the katana. Therefore, the act of stabbing that Miss Sykes remembers couldn't be that of Dr. Sykes. Okay, that's what we're getting at. Very well. Let's suppose for a minute that Miss Sykes did use the utility knife. Tell me, how does that change anything? Come again? What if the katana was only being used as a decoy to conceal the true murder weapon? What if the real weapon that took the victim's life was the utility knife? Don't be ridiculous. Are you changing the premise of your entire argument? I'm merely offering a hypothetical situation derived from your logic. Miss Sykes could have put blood on the katana to make it look like the murder weapon, and then concealed the knife on her personage until Blackwell carried her away. That does clear up the contradiction between Miss Sykes' memories and the evidence. If in fact the murder weapon is a utility knife, then fate has dealt you a cruel hand. For you have just proven the knife's existence to the rest of us with your own logic.
Objection!
The prosecution is attempting to lead the court.
Objection!
You're the one attempting to lead the court, Mr. Wright, by forcing us to forget the facts of this case. Need I remind you that you were only 2 people in the lab at the time of the murder. And that the defendant herself recalls stabbing someone with her own hands. No. It matters not whether the murder weapon was a katana or a utility knife, as long as we know that the victim and the defendant were the only ones there. You cannot escape the fact that it was Athena Sykes who killed her own mother. I don't believe it. Why? Why does this keep happening? Every time I find a contradiction, it vanishes and the suspicion keeps coming back. It's almost as if... Now you're finally starting to get it. Your contradictions keep vanishing because the charge is true. And the suspicion keeps coming back to the defendant because that's where it belongs. Phoenix Wright, when will you open your eyes and accept the truth?
I don't want to believe it. It can't be true. But what if...
I feel like when he used to do that, when they used to like 2D that, he would have his fingers in his spikes when he would put his hand back there. His spikes looked like they were shorter right there, like he was off model. Mr. Wright, you've fought a good fight. I think you've done all you can do.
Is giving up really the only option? No! Snap out of it, Phoenix. What's the matter with you? Giving into doubt. I can't look back. Forward is the only way to go.
No, Your Honor, not yet. It isn't over yet. Right.
I can't lose sight of what's important. I believe in Athena, and I'll always believe in her, to the very end. A defense lawyer never gives up on his client. I have to pick myself up and stand firm. Make that brain of yours work, Phoenix. If I don't see a way, I'll just have to go back and look for one. Time to rethink this case thoroughly.
Cool, he's doing this thing. I can see that the fact that Athena must have stabbed someone with a utility knife. This must have been what Ponka witnessed as Athena's hug. But Prosecutor Blackwell didn't see the knife at the scene. This means that someone must have removed it from the lab before he arrived. Who could have taken the utility knife from the lab? Someone else, I guess? Okay, we're starting this thing, so let me save here. third person was at the scene. If I trust in Athena, then I have to conclude that there was a third person at the scene. But according to Ponko's testimony, Athena and her mother were the only two there. Yeah, but Ponko only recognizes people who are registered, so it would have to be an unregistered person, right? Because Ponko's not perfect in that. So then how did the third person manage to escape Ponko's detection? I know, this person must have fooled Ponko's facial recognition feature by covering Ponko's face, their own face, the victim's face. I guess their own face? Huh, I feel like there was a jacket on the floor. They could have been wearing, like, at one point, Ponko could have mistaken somebody for Dr. Sykes if they were wearing Dr. Sykes' jacket, right? Because they would have used, Ponko would have used the ID card. By covering their own face so that they wouldn't get facial recognition, the third person hid their face. But wait a minute, Ponko has a heartbeat detection system too. Even if they cover their own face, Ponko would still have detected their presence. She wouldn't have been able to tell who they were. Wait, that's it! Shut up! Culprit could have covered their face and posed as which person to avoid detection? Meet Sykes, because she was supposed to be there. Dr. Sykes. What's up, Pon Pon? Caught us right here at this climactic moment. I honestly don't think it's quite the climax, but it kind of feels like the climax. We have a whole nother part to this episode, so. How you doing, Pon Pon? Welcome in. If the culprit posed as the victim, that would explain why Ponko thought only she and Athena were there. All they had to do was take advantage of Ponko's basic recognition features. The culprit used this in order to pose as the victim. Hydrate is good. It is good. So it's good to hydrate. Recording of her voice, her jacket, her katana. Her jacket, that's what I was thinking. The victim's jacket. The culprit could have posed as the victim by wearing her jacket with the ID tag on it. But that still leaves the heartbeat detection system. How did the culprit get around that? It wouldn't have worked if Ponko could detect the real Dr. Sykes' heartbeat too. So does that mean that the real Dr. Sykes was already dead by that time? If that's the case, then who did Athena stab? The real culprit. She was trying to defend her mom, and she noticed that her mom was dead, and so she was trying to like fix her like a robot. Athena stabbed the real culprit. That's it. The person Athena stabbed wasn't Dr. Sykes. It was the person who murdered her and then pretended to be her. The real culprit. Boom. I really like how they added that. That's like a really cool addition. The whole like, oh, let me break it down and then do all these things. Like that is awesome. It really like keeps like the energy and everything, keeps you into it, you know? Now that Mr. Wright has finally finished thinking, let us bring this to a swift end. Please give us your verdict, Your Honor, so that we can move on to hostage negotiations. You are absolutely right, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I hereby... Objection! I didn't say I was finished. I was only pausing for a second, because I realized something was so shocking, I had to take a break to digest it. But now I know for a fact that Miss Sykes is innocent.
But Ponko saw me. She witnessed the moment of the crime.
Yes, Ponko did witness something. She saw the hug. In other words, the moment you used the utility knife. But the person you stabbed wasn't your mother.
What are you saying, Mr. Wright?
The answer is simple. The person Miss Sykes stabbed was a third person posing as Dr. Sykes.
What?
Do you really expect us to swallow that, Mr. Wright? According to the robot's statements, there was no third person there. Did you really think I wouldn't see through your ludicrous grab for time? Objection! After all we've been through, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm disappointed. Don't you know by now that this smile of mine means I have absolute confidence? Ha! You make that pose all the time, regardless of the facts.
Klonko's strange malfunction.
I hate when they make me do robots in the past. I can't do both the past voice and the robot.
Mr. Taryn, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sick bay?
Mr. Taryn? That's Apollo you're talking to. Oh, this hunk of junk here is mistaking Apollo for Clay. Maybe Apollo is possessed by Clay's ghosts.
No, it's because he was wearing Clay's jacket.
That was another case of mistaken identity caused by a jacket ID tag. All because Klonko couldn't read Apollo's facial features due to that eye patch. Like Mr. Edgeworth said, a mask could nullify the robot's facial recognition, and then all the person would have to do was wear a jacket with the victim's ID tag to pose as her.
Objection!
All the ridiculous theories. What good would a silly disguise like that do? Have you forgotten that the robot also has a heartbeat detection system? If there was a third person at the scene, the robot would have detected them. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but that doesn't count for much, I'm afraid. Because by that time, Dr. Sykes' heart had already stopped beating. What?
So does that mean?
Yes, Your Honor. The person Miss Sykes stabbed. This third person, who was posing as Dr. Sykes, is her mother's real killer. But that's... I'm... Impossible! It was an I'm, it was im.
A mask? The person I stabbed was wearing a mask?
Order in the court. Miss Sykes, did you say something?
A mask? Yes. I remember.
Is it gonna be Yuri for somehow? I was looking at the clothes that the person wore. Athena, what is it? Oh, were you gonna break one of the locks? Somehow?
I remember a man with a mask. How could he? What did he do to my mother? My head.
Miss Sykes, are you all right?
No!
Dude, hell yeah, unlock it!
The Black Cyclops, they're breaking.
Oh, are they all gonna break too? Oh man, it's not gonna be like 5 different things we gotta do? That was one hardcore memory of 5 black locks. Boom! That was epic, dude. I do love how they bring the black locks back.
It's all coming back to me. Everything that happened. The day my mother was murdered.
What?
They're gone. The Black Cyclops are finally gone.
You didn't really stab your mother, did you? It's all right, Athena. Just tell us what you saw that day.
I was drawing a picture. When I was done, I went to show it to my mom. I opened the door, and then...
It's all right. I'm right here. You're safe, Athena.
She was on the floor by the workbench with a katana sticking out of her. There was a handkerchief over her face, but I knew it was her by her clothes. And there was a man there.
A man?
Quite, Your Honor. Go on, Athena.
Oh. Damn, Phoenix. All right, I guess I'll shut up.
He tried to attack me. In a panic, I grabbed the knife that was there and... He dodged at first, so I only got his clothes. But I tried again.
And this time you got him, didn't you?
I did. I remember it clearly now. The knife went into the back of his hand. Then he kicked me and I passed out.
Do we knew somebody who had a hurt hand? I don't remember. Yeah, he's shutting down the judge. Hell yeah. He's like, Judge, shut up, dude. Shut up. We don't need your stupid shit. The murder weapon in this case, Athena also used one of these to stab the Phantom's hand during the incident 7 years ago. Now, who could this be?
When I came to, my mom wasn't moving. I had to do something. I had to fix her, I thought. So I asked Ponko to move her to the operating table. Something's wrong with Mom.
Here, let me do the pass.
Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm trying to fix her.
So that's why she said that.
Your Honor, as you can see, the defendant has just given us critical new testimony. A man was there before Miss Sykes arrived. A man who covered the victim's face and put on the victim's jacket. This man is the real culprit. Miss Sykes, do you have any idea who this man was?
No. I'm afraid I don't.
A few moments ago, Miss Sykes mentioned a mask. Athena, can you tell us anything else about that?
Yes. The mask. It was my mom's Japanese theater mask. I think it was the one hanging on the wall of the lab.
Ah, this mask hanging here on the wall.
It was kind of spooky, that mask. My mom used to tell me that a no mask even has the power to turn an ordinary human into a phantom.
A phantom?
It would seem that a new suspect has emerged. And that means that all suspicion against Miss Sykes has... Nope.
You see, this is precisely why I can't trust the court system. Athena Sykes is the murderer. I won't accept any other verdict.
What a fucking bitch, dude. You don't want to catch the real murderer, you're damn sure it's her with no evidence. Miss Blackwell.
This is not good.
A new suspect. Where's the proof this person ever existed? Who says it wasn't all just a dream in the little princess's groggy little head?
She's right. We don't have any hard evidence of the masked man's existence.
Nope, Athena might have something to say about that.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. I'll never be able to repay you for all you've done. But I'm fine now, because I can say with certainty that I didn't kill my mother.
Athena, I'm so glad for you.
Warning. Warning.
Oh, we're getting raided.
Coming.
Warning, warning, incoming raiders. Napoleon VT is here. Ice cream raid. Hell yeah.
Welcome, Raiders.
How's it going?
Welcome in Napoleon.
Let's see, what
score VT.
What are you playing? You're playing, oh, games and demos, huh? What were you playing today? Let's check out a clip from a Napoleon stream. Hope the stream went well. Let's check it out. Hit a bunch of indie demos today. Nice. I love doing that myself. I did that recently. Oh, what are we playing here? Oh, is this only up? Is that what this is? Oh no.
So anyway, thank you all for coming by.
Nice, that's hilarious. Yeah, totally fucked that jump up. Oh, I'm out of here. That's why I can't play those games. I would get so mad. I would just be like, you know what? Fuck this game. Fuck everything. Fuck games in general. I'm leaving. I've seen so many frustrating clips from that game. People get so high up there and then they just fall all the way back down. That's an easier one than the other. Oh, is it easier? Okay, well, there you go. I remember like getting over it one. That one was pretty hard. I did see. I don't. Have you seen that one? They showed it at one of the game shows or whatever. But it's from the one of the guys that worked on it was the Bennett Foddy, or is Bennett Foddy, I think. But it's that one where you're like, I think you just control the character's legs and you just have to like push the buttons right to step, and it's just gonna be like a frustrating walking game or whatever. You seen that one? Yeah, the learning to walk game. Is that what it's called? Learning to walk? There you go. Yeah, that one's gonna be pretty cool. I can't wait to check that one out. That one looks like one I'll actually play too. Like I tried getting over with Bennett Foddy. I've tried Jump King. They're definitely games for me that are very frustrating. I heard about that one. Not looking forward to it. Yeah. It looks like it has like a bit of story to it. I don't know how much like Only Up has or whatever, but it looked like there was some clips of like some story elements, and that always intrigues me. So I'll probably check it out if it's cheap enough or free. Especially if it's free, I'll check it out. If it's cheap enough, I might too, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm glad you had a good stream. What was your favorite demo you played today? Anything really good? I played quite a few of the demos from like the, what was it? The Steam Next Fest or whatever they had. And honestly, I think all the demos I played were pretty damn good. So a lot of good stuff out there. There's a little bit of story. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Oh, are you saying in Only Up there's a little bit of story too? Are you saying? Because that'd be pretty cool. I haven't watched any actual gameplay of it, just clips of people falling. That's all I've seen. I've been trying to get through the Steam Next demos, but a lot of them aren't available. Yeah, it's weird that they just like, they were available for like a day. It's crazy. I'm glad that I played the ones that I did, because I think all of the ones I played like a week or two ago on Friday, all the demos are gone for them now. I think maybe there was one of them that still had the demo up. And it's just like, why a limited time demo, dude? They were selling the games to me, so why not keep selling them like that? Because damn, I love demos, dude. I wish demos would stick around more. The demo tonight was definitely Angerfoot. Oh, okay, interesting. I haven't heard that one. Angerfoot. I'll have to check that out. That is very interesting. Very cool. Well, you caught us here. We're the climax of this part, but we still have one more part to this whole episode. But yeah, this has been a very epic thing here. Basically, broad strokes is this girl was accused of killing her mother when she was a little girl, and there was like another guy that was trying to cover for her because he thought she did, but we just found out that she didn't kill her mother, and that there was actually a third man there that she saw and tried to kill herself. Well, she didn't try to kill herself, but tried to kill the man by herself as a little girl. And so that was a big plot twist. So we finally are trying to like convince the rest of the court of that memory, so that we can then move on to trying to find out who actually killed her mother. So just a little broad strokes there, what's going on over here. I definitely recommend a very high energy game. Nice, that's cool. It makes sense for Ace Attorney. Yep, it's classic Ace Attorney stuff, right? Classic. Especially like when the person you're defending is like, oh, I did it, I'm guilty, I killed everybody all the time. And it's like, dude, I'm trying to defend you, man. That is always Ace Attorney. It's funny how they like constantly do that. But yeah, anyways, yeah, thanks again, Napoleon, for bringing everybody over here. Appreciate it. If you gotta go right away, yeah, I totally get it, raid and dash. But happy to have you here to hang out if you want. And thanks again for bringing everybody over here. All right, let's see, where were you?
More and more memories are coming back now, so I'd like to say one thing, if I could. Ponko came to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. to recharge.
I went to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. And then Mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything.
And you get some food and water, Bobby Lurkin. Sounds good. I appreciate you being here. And they're too okay with not being guilty. They clearly did. Yeah. I see. I see where you're going with this. If Mommy Metis was really the killer in disguise,
right? Then he must have come to the robotics lab before 2 p.m.
Do I have anything here in the evidence that can help me?
My bad. I've been doing really good about that tonight until right now.
Do I have anything in the evidence that can help me find this person who came to the lab before 2 p.m.?
Let's see, do I have anything evidence? Just shows Simon. Find this person who came to the lab, like this person? Something that indicts a specific person? Nothing's jumping out at me here. This person who came to the lab before 2 p.m. No, I don't. I don't understand what would. Hearing that Dr. Sykes gave to Athena. I don't see anything that would point to that. I feel like I'm not listening to what he's saying quite right. That can help me find this person who came into the lab before 2 p.m. Do I have any evidence that can help me find this person? I feel like it would be the video. Because it's the only person to pass through at the time of the crime, but we maybe can rewind to get somebody beforehand. I'm going to save and try that. Does that make sense to me? But I can't tell if that's the game's logic or not. Because typically, from my experience, the game, like, it'll be, like, straight up in this description. But, I don't know, sometimes it is like this. I'll try it. This is Prosecutor Blackwell, leaving the scene after the incident at around 3 p.m. What I'm wondering is, does the video show anyone else passing by there before then? Okay, I think I got it. I don't see anything in the investigation report. It looks like they didn't check. Just as I thought. So if we rewind the footage and go back to around 2 p.m., we should be able to see the true culprit leaving the scene. Very well then. Let's take a look. We get like a little anime scene. There! Please stop it right there. Of course, we're just gonna get a freeze frame. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty fucking suspicious. He looks like he's got a fucking stab wound on his hand too.
It's just like you said. There was a man leaving the scene of the crime.
Miss Sykes, do you remember this person? That's him! I'm sure of it! He's wearing my mother's jacket.
So is it gonna be like evidence in her jacket that we're gonna find or something like DNA? That'd be crazy.
I did. What I really wanted to see was her
oh, I forgot. This is in the past.
I did. But what I really wanted to see was her jacket.
That jacket on display. That was Dr. Sykes?
Can you see it? There's a slash I made with a utility knife that day. And I'm sure that knife is under that jacket somewhere.
So then, everything Miss Sykes said.
Exactly. It proves that Miss Sykes' memory was correct. Dr. Sykes' killer arrived at the robotics lab before 2 p.m. He killed her and hit her face with a handkerchief.
It's a bit like Meekins, you know? It does look a little like Meekins. Except he would be way more animated somehow.
Then he disguised himself with Dr. Sykes' jacket and mask that were there in the lab. The culprit probably knew beforehand that Ponko charged up at 2 p.m. every day.
Yeah. He's been fired from a lot of things, hasn't he? Or they tried to like move him around. I think that's what it was. Because he was like a mascot. He was like the Blue Badger at one point, like.
So he waited for Ponko to come to the lab for her regular recharge. By leaving Dr. Sykes' jacket on, the culprit tricked Ponko into thinking he was Dr. Sykes, thereby making it look like she was alive up to that point in time. All to disguise the real time of death.
Objection.
What, you're not buying Edgeworth? Come on, bruh.
It's a nice theory, Mr. Wright, but I'm afraid that it's just not possible. What? Why not? The victim's jacket is clearly visible right here in this video.
And that right there is precisely the problem. The ID tag on the jacket at the scene confirms beyond a doubt that it belonged to the victim. If the person who left the lab truly was wearing the victim's jacket, then how could it possibly have wound up back at the scene of the crime?
What's going on? That doesn't make sense. Edgeworth's right. If the culprit was wearing the jacket, how did it get back in the lab?
The killer brought it back, the victim brought it back, the defendant brought it back. I mean, the killer would be the only person that would have brought it back, right? I'm gonna save. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, let me show you the options. I'm gonna say the killer brought it back. Did I save? Let's save. The killer brought it back, because why would either of the other two? The killer used the jacket as a disguise to make his escape. But in order to conceal that fact, he had to get the jacket back into the crime scene. So the culprit simply returned to the robotics lab later and planted it there. Contradiction resolved. That doesn't sound like it was going to be acceptable. Except that it would have been impossible. The only person who came to the robotics lab after the killer were there. Prosecutor Blackwell and the people who reported the body. And they claimed that the jacket was there when they arrived. So, when do you propose that this mysterious man of yours had the chance to return the jacket? A puzzling question indeed.
When did the culprit have the chance to bring the jacket back?
When the body was found at the time of the murder. Bring the jacket back at the time of the murder. What the fuck, how does that work? When the body was found. I feel like that's the... Like maybe he was one of the people that found it and just placed it there, like incognito. Alright, gotta do this save. I'm gonna say when the body was found. The only time the culprit could have returned to the jacket was when the body was found. Mr. Wright, do you realize the implication of your argument? I do. Most people, when they come across a murder, focus their attention on the body. The culprit could have taken advantage of that split second to plant the jacket. In other words, the true culprit of this case, the man known as the Phantom, was one of the first people to discover the body. I would never have thought of that. Why not? It's fairly obvious.
Order! Order in the court! What is the meaning of this? Prosecutor Edgeworth.
The body was discovered and reported by a group of 3 people. They were there to collect the space probe's capsule in preparation for the Hat 1 launch. One of those people had a special bag to transport the capsule in. Oh, you mean the shock-resistant bag? Correct. I suppose that if the jacket was in that bag, it could have been returned to the scene of the crime without anyone noticing. I'll see to it that you get the reports of those 3 people. You will? We should also check the facial recognition database for that robot. If this person felt the need to hide his face with a theater mask, it might mean that his facial data was once registered.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, does this mean...
I have to admit, I believe Miss Sykes' memories to be credible. You win, right? Not that this has ever on an official trial anyway.
Do my ears deceive me? Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you actually conceding?
Edgeworth's all about that truth, bro. We know that.
Is it true, boss? Does this mean I'm...
I can't believe it. It's over. I won. I proved that both Athena and Prosecutor Blackwell are innocent.
But we've also implicated someone else at the space agency.
Your Honor,
I see no need to further prolong this trial.
Objection!
Hold on, Mr. Wright. Have you forgotten who's in charge of this trial?
That's right. I'm the one who's supposed to say, I see no need further to prolong.
Not you either, Your Honor. Now silence.
The little princess who was truly beloved by Metis, and who repaid that love with death. All these years hating Athena was the only thing that's kept me going. But what do I do now? Can anybody tell me? How am I supposed to go on?
Miss Blackwell.
How unlike you, Aura. Metis was deeply passionate about her work, and she chose you as her partner. Isn't that...
Shut up, Simon. You know exactly how I felt about her. Her respect as a co-worker wasn't all that I wanted.
Then, what did you want from her?
Did you really just go there, Your Honor?
Aura, there is something I wanted to say, if you would lend me an ear. I have in my possession a lead on who Metis' murderer is. You do? It's weird that, like, he wouldn't, like, why would he, like, sit there and implicate himself? Because he thought it was pointless to try to prove Athena innocent, so he's just like, I'm just gonna shield her from being accused. It's just interesting. Right, Dono. You asked me about the identity of the Phantom of 7 years ago. Or 7 years past. That's right.
The Phantom. The person Blackwell has been looking for, even from behind bars.
7 years ago, somebody hatched a plan to sabotage the Hat 1 rocket. The spy. But he was no ordinary spy. We knew naught about him. His background appearance. Or his background appearance, that's what I said. We came to refer to him as the Phantom. At the time, I was working with the police to hunt him down. But then one day, a miracle occurred, and I obtained a lead on him.
Oh, how exciting!
What was the lead? A recording of the Phantom's voice, but the quality was too poor for proper voice analysis. Yet I had hope. Aura's co-worker was a scientist who could analyze human emotions. So I asked her to evaluate the recording using analytical psychology. And that scientist was Dr. Sykes. Yes, a spy's greatest fear is to have his true identity discovered. In addition to Hat 1, Dr. Sykes' results and the recording were surely among his targets. But his search of the Space Center bore no fruit, so he must have started to panic.
He couldn't find them, but where could they have been?
Who is to say?
Wow, I bet he's never let that out of his sight all these years.
How in the world did you smuggle them into prison? Oh, I have my ways. What's more, my partner is especially talented at that sort of thing. Hell yeah, his bird. I worked to lure the Phantom in by spreading rumors throughout the underworld. I was even granted permission to persecute cases to attract the Phantom's attention. Just try to retrieve your identity. You bloody butcher, became my taunt. And what about the results of Dr. Sykes' drew up for you? Was there any useful information? Here, you can see for yourself. But take good care of it. It's all I have left of my mentor. I will.
I better hold on to this real tight.
Phantom Psych profile added to the court record. The subject's emotions rarely fluctuate and he doesn't experience feelings like normal people do. Because he's a psychopath. You fucking psychopath. Psychological profile classified. Emotional output of this voice extremely weak compared to typical voices. Subject deemed to have unique psychological makeup with almost no emotional fluctuation.
No emotional fluctuation, huh?
A spy who experiences no emotions, not sadness nor anger, and naturally no fear. He is the very definition of a phantom, a monster with no heart. Don't you see?
This creature is the rot that destroyed our lives and set what ails us all into motion.
Your Honor, there appears to be a new subscriber.
Hell yeah, that was a perfect one. We're playing Ace Attorney. Hell yeah, getting close to 3 years, dude. Fuck yeah, man. Crazy to think I've been streaming that long, you know, when you really think about it. This is just something I do now, man. But how you doing, dude? It's good to see you. The Phantom, indeed. A fitting name for the one who has brought darkness to our world. Well then. It seems a faint image of this man has started to take shape. Based on what we have learned, I'd like all of you to conduct further investigation. This is not a formal trial, but I do want to follow protocol. If I may, I'd like to hand down my verdicts and bring these proceedings to an end.
Whatever. Do what you want.
You'll hear no objections from me. Yes, please, Your Honor.
It's over. It's finally over.
And Crazzle 3 more.
Crazzle 3 more. I think that's so funny. Crazzle 3 more. Yeah, exactly, dude.
Very well. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, could you please take the stand? As a result of this trial, your innocence has been proven. The verdict handed down 7 years ago is hereby overturned. And now, the defendant of the current trial, Miss Athena Sykes.
Yes, Your Honor? Mr. Wright, thank you. Thank you for everything.
Athena, you're more than welcome. If everyone is ready, I will now give my verdict.
Oh, shoot.
You?
Who is it? It's Apollo! With an objection? What? How dare you?
Apollo! What is the meaning of this?
Congratulations, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Edgeworth. You uncovered the truth from 7 years ago, and you saved Prosecutor Blackwell. However, I can't allow this trial to end just yet.
Why, Apollo? Why would you do this to us?
Oh, is it gonna be a cliffhanger for next week? Yep. Cliffhanger for next week, as usual. I mean, it is about that time. It is 9:30, so perfect timing. Save game, yeah. Yes, lots of gasps tonight, huh, Togepi? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we got saved. Let's do our save slots. I always overkill it with like 5 saves, just in case. You want to lose them. All right, yeah, so that's the end of today. Man, that was such an exciting episode, dude. So next week we will reach the conclusion of this one. Oh, we're not playing Zelda today, dude. I forget the chat screen sometimes. But yeah, so we'll get the conclusion of this case next week, which is the conclusion of the base game. And then there will be another case though. I just got to make sure I can get the DLC case, and we'll be playing that as well. And that one looks like it's pretty freaking long, so that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, so we'll reach the conclusion of this one though next week, and that is exciting. As far as for the rest of the week, on Friday I'll be streaming something. There's a game that's got it's like a new game that's coming out that I got into the like alpha or beta of or whatever, the test that they're doing for this week. So I think I'm gonna try to do that one on Friday. But we'll see. I'm not sure if I will be able to get in there because it wasn't giving me my password earlier. Thank you for the follow, Lucky the Dude of Dudes. That's awesome. That's a great name, dude. The Dude of Dudes. You're like the dude, right? From what, The Big Lebowski? Thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. I don't know how long you've been here, but I'm glad you're here at all. So thank you. But yeah, so on Friday we might be playing the game I'm thinking of is called Palia, I think is how you pronounce it. But it's like sort of like an online crafting gathering game a little bit, but it's like got multiplayer elements to it or whatever. It looks kind of cool, like a chill game for a Friday. So I'll be doing some of that for Friday. But yeah, so I hope I see you guys there. But as for tonight, shall we raid somebody? What do you think? We got so many lurkers hanging out tonight. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I really appreciate it. And thanks again for that follow. Thank you, Dude of Dudes. I should just call you Lucky. Like, Dude of Dudes sounds so epic, though. All right, let's see who we got online. We got Toasty Bears playing The Sims 4. Prince Raglan's playing Scribble.io. There's always the Ducks. We got Ishi Domino playing some Rocket League. Burnsy's playing some Red Dead Redemption. We got There Is No Easy Mode. I haven't seen them on in a while. I played some Mario Kart 8. Terra the Majin playing some Pokemon Infinite Fusion. I haven't heard of that one. HBC is playing All Elite Wrestling, and we got Salience playing some looks like Tears of the Kingdom. Man, so many people streaming tonight, so that's great. How about we raid into Burnsy playing some Red Dead Redemption? That sounds pretty cool. Sounds pretty chill. Yeah, out of all those people, though, any of them would be great to hang out with. If you guys are looking for somebody to watch, any of those people we get. But we're going to go check out Burnsy. Here, let's watch a Burnsy clip. How many Ys has he got in there? Just 2 Ys. Burnsy and YY. Oh, I forgot one of the Ys. There we go.
Warning.
Oh, we're getting raided by Salients. We're about to raid out ourselves. We're about to raid Burnsy.
Prepare for awesome and higher.
Welcome in, Salients.
Welcome, Raiders.
We were actually just about to raid ourselves, so you're gonna join. Yeah, double raid. Then you exactly gonna join us. We're about to go raid Burnsy. We were just checking out a clip here really quick. But thank you for raiding over. I really appreciate the love. So thank you. How was Tears of the Kingdom? Got a lot of hours in it. I know I'm pretty far into it myself. I was just recently, I think I'm trying to do the Gerudo area is the next area I'm going to be going to. But man, I spent so much time in the underworld. It's a lot of fun. So I hope you're enjoying it too. But yeah, we're going to get ready to raid over to Burnsy. So thanks for joining us. Let's get that set up. The raid message there. And there we go, raiding Burnsy. I played 4 of the story things. Oh, nice, hell yeah. Nice. I think I've done 3 of them. So this is gonna be my 4th one. I think I got all the teardrops though last night. Which, God, the story is so cool. I love the little story bits in it too. It's, I mean, in Breath of the Wild it was great as well. Just more of this greatness, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, if you guys played Breath of the Wild and you haven't played Tears of the Kingdom yet, you definitely should, because it's really good. All right, guys. Thanks again for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. Hopefully we'll see you on Friday for Palia or whatever I end up playing. But until then, stay happy, stay healthy, because I love you. And we'll see you on Friday. See you later. He said we'll be going after the Master Sword. Nice. I just went after the Master Sword recently. It's a really cool thing, so I hope you enjoy that. All right, starting the raid. Night, guys. Bye-bye. Raid now.